Be a minute. Hello, everyone. We're here again. It's Wednesday, and it's episode 77. Sounds good. That 77. 77. I don't know. It sounds cool.
Is there? Hang on. You're old, aren't you, Ian? Right.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting nearer.
Is there a bingo thing for 77? The 66 and the clickety click. What's 77?
Oh, I don't know. Somebody might know. I don't know. I don't do bingo. I've never been to a bingo place in my life. Anyhow, everybody can see we've got him here, Delboy again. So I always say, what have you been watching, lad?
Yeah, I'm like a bad penny. I do apologise that I'm still here after 77 bloody videos of this. People have tried to get rid of me, saying I'm a southern softie and all sorts of stuff.
But I'm still here, lad.
Right.
You're showing a bit of northern grit.
I told you I was an adopted northerner for 7 years. So you can't really turn around and say that I don't know what the North's like. I think I just don't know whether I was thrown out or I left of my own accord. I'm trying to work it out. But anyway, what have I watched? Well, most of the stuff that's on here that I've watched has been a sort of like a digital thing, or it's been on telly. I mean, I've had a bit of a time with trying to putting a disc in, you know what I mean, and put it in and settling down and watching something because looking after my mum, it's a bit difficult. But the first thing I saw was Death Race. Now, Death Race is the Jonathan Statham one, which wasn't too far back, and I've seen it before. I'd forgotten all about it, to be quite honest. It was on late one night, and I watched it, and I thought, actually, this is quite a good time, really. The action sequences aren't bad. It's set in that sort of like prison environment when it's all sort of like cyberpunk type settings, where old cars have got guns added to them, and it makes it look like it's futuristic, but it's not futuristic, and all of that. So
Max type of thing.
Yeah, so that wasn't too bad, and that was followed up the next day by what I consider to be one of the worst films.
Oh,
which is Speed 2. Cruise
a lot of people mention that one. Actually, it's not good, but I suspect there's worse films than that.
Wow. There is, but it's just that when you watch Speed and then you watch Speed 2, you go, bloody hell, who came up with that idea? Bloody awful.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and Sandra Bullock, not great. Anyway, then the next night, and we're talking sort of like near the weekend now, I was watching Rewind, and they had the documentary of the doctors on. Now, I'm pretty sure I've seen this documentary before. I've got a funny feeling it was made when there was a satellite channel called BSB.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
British Satellite Broadcasting, before it became British Sky Broadcasting, and they swallowed up that Squarial and all the rest of it, because they had a special Squarial.
They had a Doctor Who stuff on there, didn't they?
Yeah, there was an anniversary, and that's why they showed a special channel for it, or a special thing that went over a weekend, if I remember right. And I had a Squarial. I had the Power Channel and all of that instead of MTV that Sky had and all of that. We couldn't. My dad didn't want me to have the big circular dish. He wanted the smaller Squarial.
Yeah,
it didn't look so bad on the house, and of course, I had no control over it. So we had the Squarial. Then I couldn't remember if this was a couple of weeks ago or if it was we were talking about it just now. I watched Daylight, Sylvester Stallone's Daylight. I've crossed out Cliffhanger because I reckon that was a couple of weeks ago I watched Cliffhanger. But I watched Daylight. I watched Casper.
Yeah.
I've got the 4K edition of Casper.
Yeah.
And that reminded me of my Laserdisc of it and how many copies I made of that film for kiddies. because I had a laser disc and a converter and was able to put it onto tape before it was even out on tape when you could buy it. And I remember all the times where I bought the trading cards of that, because I was buying trading cards of movies as well as Marvel stuff. So it brought back some happy memories, Casper. I mean, I was never a big Casper fan, of the cartoon. I knew the tune, Casper, the Friend Beagles, all of that sort of stuff. But it was never like Warner. It was never like Looney Tunes and all of that sort of stuff. Tom and Jerry. And
yeah.
So over here was not that big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was okay. As a horror film, I did watch the remake of Fright Night again. Hadn't watched that one in a number of years, because I've always watched the original, and of course the original one has been out on Blu-ray, and then a year later it was out on 4K, and then there was a steel on 4K. I've been buying them, and everybody's been saying, "Where's Fright Night 2? Where's Fright Night 2?" And many people don't talk about the David Tennant Fright Night that came out. It's all right, it's not a patch on the first one. And full well the reason why it's not, and that's because Roddy McDowall's not in it, and he's such a presence, such a presence that you can have as many David Tennants as you want. It's not going to make up for Roddy McDowall, who was just, I think, phenomenal. I mean, he was just everywhere, and every time he was on the screen, I loved every character he played. It could have been in Buck Rogers, it could have been Columbo, it didn't matter what it was. He touched it, and I was on it. And he was even in the Martian Chronicles, if you remember.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And every time he comes on, it's like you steal every scene, Roddy. You're going to really piss people off.
The voice. He's got the voice. You just know that voice.
I really ought to do a talk with Denny just about that actor, because the amount of stuff he's done. I mean, he's in my favorite dystopian film, Planet of the Apes, and it's just great. And then, of course, I've sent you a couple of films a bit later than I wanted to. I should have sent them a couple of days.
It's all right. I've only managed.
I'm not going to talk at all about the content of those films. I'll just mention what they are called, and that is Awakenings and Fantastic Four: First Steps. One of those is exceptional. The other one, it's all right, and it gave one of the films that came out that summer a bit of a run for its money, but it ultimately lost. And if you don't know which one I'm talking about now, I don't know why you're here, because you can't obviously watch a lot of films, because definitely one of those films did not come out this year. One of those films came out 35 years ago. So but that film is exceptional. It is one of my favorite films to sort of watch. Things that have come through the post that have not been shown in my blog yet. Looking forward to watching Jacob's Ladder again. It's not a bad looking cover. That it's a weird film, Jacob's Ladder. It's one of those ones that's a bit spooky.
It's a psychedelic film, really.
Yeah, it's a bit spooky. It's a bit spooky. Not a horror. I wouldn't call it the horror like Halloween's a horror, and The Thing is a horror. It's just a horror because of its. I think it's more to do with its content or its subject, probably more than anything. One that I don't know why the bloody hell I bought it. Piece of shit. To be quite, and it is a piece of shit. Spawn.
Never fancied that.
It's an Arrow HDR one. It's a comic book thing. I think that's probably the reason why it was there. I won't be watching that. It's as simple as that. This came today, this behemoth of Curse of Frankenstein.
Oh, that's nice, yeah.
Only came today. Look at the bloody size of the thing. Jesus Christ, man. I mean...
Is that 60 quid's worth?
That's the 60 quid's worth.
Yeah.
And then one that you'll love.
Yeah.
And if you don't buy this, because I tell you what, it's on Music Magpie, it's on World of Books, I checked it all, and that is Nicholas and Alexander.
Oh, I've got a DVD of that.
So that was $4.99.
I've got
on Blu-ray.
I think that's a Tony York one.
Oh, right.
Great. Yeah.
Well, we got his name sorted out early, didn't we?
Actually,
I thought we were approaching Tony York corner, not anything.
Yeah. It's one that I watched a while ago. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great.
It's a fantastic film. It's an interesting true story. It's amazing the end, really.
Yes.
There's so much tension being built up at the end because, well, I don't want to give it away, but they're in a room. They're in a room, and that's all I can tell you really about it.
Yeah, it's tragic, the ending, isn't it? Yeah, that's all I can say.
It's all about being. It's all about being. It's all about power and how power is influenced by people.
Yeah.
And then how you keep a tradition like being a Cesar, isn't it? Is that how they call it? They call it Cesar, the Cesar or Cesar. I can't remember.
How do you sort of replace one tyranny with another tyranny?
Yeah, because there is an overthrow going on.
Yeah,
there is a side that. Yeah. There's sort of like a side that's born into it, and then there's a side that's sort of.
Well, there's two revolutions. People forget that the first Russian Revolution wasn't really Bolshevik led. It was everybody coming together. They wanted to form a sort of Western kind of democratic government, but that just didn't work. The Tsar was too stupid, and again, another person out of touch with everything.
So it was sort of like nice to watch that because it's a period piece, but it's a period piece that's newer than what they usually show because this one is not sort of like ballroom gowns and all of that sort of stuff, showing the 18th century.
It's a very good film. I do recommend that. It's like you.
Now I have got another film, but I can't show that, and that's because I've got to do a video of it first.
All right. That's fine.
That came through the post from a very, very naughty boy, which I can't mention but all I can say is he's a real bastard, and I hate his guts, and I can't wait to rip him a new one when I do my video of it. No, seriously, it was out the blue. It came at a time where a load of other stuff came in, and I didn't know about it. So I opened it and went, "Oh, sodding shit, bastard, git," and all sorts of words came out of my mouth. And I'll do a video of it. I'm just having trouble, with looking after my mum and time and all of that sort of stuff. And I don't like to do something on the fly without me, being prepared a little bit. And so it will come out. I'll probably find time tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? That's what'll happen. I'd have liked to have done it here because then I could rip him a new one.
Yeah.
But it's going to be another day. Look out for that. That means you've got to like and subscribe to this, and then you got to come over to my side and subscribe to me, if you're watching this. So we'll get it out the way early, shall we?
Yeah. Please subscribe to Delboy's channel as always. I'm doing it very early tonight. You never know. So anybody who hasn't,
all I can say is his channel is absolutely exceptional, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I've always wanted to go round his house and nick everything off his shelves. Right, he would not be left with anything. I don't know why nobody would subscribe or like anything that he does, because I tell you what, he even does unboxings which make mine look bloody stupid. Right, he makes you sick. He makes you sick that you're a YouTube creator and he just comes out with all this stuff. He's got an intro, he's got a bloody theme tune, he's got bloody all this stuff coming out. He's a real bastard, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, enough said about him, gave the game away then. It's a him, right? Weren't a girl. Well, I don't know. The audience is out on that one. Is he a girl or a boy? What would you say, Ian? Yeah, he's a boy, isn't he, really? Yeah.
He's a lad. He's a really young lad.
He's a bit of a Jack the lad.
Is a
and all I can say is possibly one of the nicest blokes that's out there. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to know him.
Yeah.
And it's just difficult for me to probably come out with the words that express sort of how he sort of like came into my life a little bit, really, and then sort of like does those sort of things that he's done to me. The little shitty git bastard went and did that to me this week.
And Tony's just popped in, and you haven't had his
well, we weren't talking about Tony because there's a layer of where this guy is, and then there's a layer of shit, and then there's Tony, isn't there? Right? He's sort of like there, isn't he, Tony? I mean, what a git he is. Right? So, and with all of that, I'll let you say what you've been watching.
Okay. I'll have me rant first. I watched because we're now watching Disney Plus. I thought, I know what I'll watch. Alien Earth. That's bound to be good. Not. So I started watching Alien Earth. Watched a couple of episodes. My God. I've done a video rant. I just couldn't believe.
Well, look, hang on. Before you go any further, the thing I'll go about further with that, I actually turned around and said to you that the first couple I liked, right? And I'll still stick with that. No, I'll still stick with that. But do you remember then I went into a rant from around
about
how the hell have you got this bloody secret flipping laboratory and all this sort of stuff? There's key cards everywhere. You could just walk through the doors.
Yeah.
What's going on? But, it just turned into a so-so.
And I think the acting's bad. I was surprised how bad the acting. I thought it was awful, the acting.
I think a lot of people were I think a lot of people were taken by the premise.
Script.
The premise. I think it was the premise.
Yeah, I think I accept that the look. They had some good look. Some stuff looked okay, but it's about the stories. It's about the acting. The premise may have been an interesting idea, but it just failed totally for me. I just gave up. I was just fed up with it, and so my rant basically was, well, if you've got such a great film like Alien and the whole Alien set of films, why do they need to make a television series?
Well, I'll tell you what. I tell you what.
I devalues the film.
I think you made the right decision in the end.
Yeah.
But we also have to remember that if we had that sort of mentality, we would never have seen Star Trek: The Next Generation, because it really was poor at the very beginning. I mean, it was pretty.
But don't forget, there's a big difference. That started from the TV. And TV series of going into films is different. This is
films. The motion picture came out, and then you had the Wrath of Khan.
Yes,
and you had that, and then they said we need to really do something in the future, and we'll do a TV series.
Yeah,
so it does come from a movie type.
But the Star Trek itself. The original Star Trek series, we wouldn't have had the films without the original Star Trek series, would we?
Yeah. But I reckon that you wouldn't have had I reckon you wouldn't have had Star Trek: The Next Generation if it weren't for the success of the film.
No, you wouldn't. But that is from the TV, you see, and it's not like we're suddenly making a film. The film, it's like you wouldn't have E.T. the series, would you? Spielberg was dead against that. I think there were people who were saying,
I can't imagine what stories he'd have around it.
There were people, I've heard people, but Spielberg, I think, went on record. I may be wrong, but I'm sure he said something about he didn't want any of his films being made into TV series.
I'm hoping when you do your rant, that you go into some of the stuff like Harry and the Hendersons. Bloody awful.
Oh yeah, I'm sure everybody can come up with examples of things that they.
I can mention a ton of stuff, but I can also mention the other way around, which is TV made into films.
I can, but it's like it's no secret that one of my all-time favorite series is the X-Files. And the first film was very good. The second film wasn't as good, but they didn't make a whole load of films.
Oh, I'm going further back and saying things like Rising Damp.
Yeah, does that? Yeah, I think you could look that up. The only one that I could think of that I think produced a better TV series than the film, I think, is Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea was much better on the TV series than the original film. So that was an example the other way around. But I think generally it seems to me that just because you've got a great film, you don't have to turn it into a TV series.
I can round up Alien Earth. It's very easy. The first 2 episodes have an absolute fantastic style to them. It's got an interesting premise. The sound isn't too bad. The story gets you intrigued for the first half hour, and you therefore might want to watch episode 2. If you do get to episode 2, you might find that it starts to lack off after about 10 minutes of episode 2, and then it's whether you're going to stomach all the way to 8. I think there was 8.
Yeah.
And from the time it got to the 5th episode, I was calling it lost.
Yeah.
Right. It was lost in everything.
Yeah.
Including its match with how Lost was at the very last season, which was what the hell am I watching anymore? And do I care?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think when you say "do I care," that says it all, doesn't it? Yeah. I mean, you've got to care.
And I know it's been renewed. Been renewed.
Has it? Oh God.
And I think it's more to do with the fact that the sets are built and the money and all of that sort of stuff. And the fact it's Alien as a license. Alien and its license will definitely carry the legs to turn around and say, well, there's a fan base out there.
Well, everybody's going to do that has a successful thing. They think they're going to have a successful lot of films. I can understand it. I mean, to me, as I think I said in my rant, Disney have bought these and they want something out of them. And therefore, they want basically content for their streaming services. And what a good way to just bang together some content by using a film, thinking, oh yeah, well, people love that film, so we'll stick out, something linked with that film. And it's content. It's all about that's it. That's all they bought it for. So that was my sort of thing. Anyhow, films that I did enjoy, which I hadn't seen. I enjoyed Thunderbolts. I watched Thunderbolts for the first time.
Didn't I tell you about Thunderbolts was the first uptick?
Yeah, you see, to be honest, you've heard me ranting some weeks about Marvel and thinking, oh God, this Marvel really bad. Well, totally going off it. But this, it had so much heart to it. It felt really good. To me, I thought, oh, this is Marvel how it should be. The way they'd done it. It wasn't on a. It just felt better. It felt better to me, and that's maybe the cast was just so good. I think possibly Florence Pugh, I thought, was excellent. She dominated it in many ways, but the other cast members were good. They all linked together really well. And I thought, well, there is hope now for Marvel. Seeing that made me think, well, maybe it's made them think, if they can produce films like that, then why can't they get back to how they were instead of producing
it was the first uptick, but it's also recognized as being the first Marvel film where its audience dropped 66% in its second week, and that's when that suddenly started to become a thing that YouTube would talk about. By the time it got to its second week, it was what? And the same thing happened with the Fantastic Four. To some extent, it happened to Superman, although it was a lesser percentage. It was more like 55, not 66. 66 was a number that kept being bandied about this summer.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, obviously, people probably have. Some of them have given up on Marvel, possibly. You know, thinking, well,
I told you what I told you
yeah,
what I thought about FF, and that was you had 3 blockbuster movies in that month, and the
yeah,
last one was Fantastic Four.
yeah,
And the
exactly.
problem with that is that there's some people that just can't afford to take the
Yeah,
family to go and see
yeah,
3 films,
yeah,
right? And they were all ones that family could see, because even Jurassic Park was
yeah,
a sort of like a family type thing, because it's
yeah,
what is it, a PG film or
yeah,
something, right?
yeah,
Superman was definitely in the UPG band, and Fantastic
yeah,
Four was, you know, so it's because it's all like mild peril, they call it now,
yeah,
don't they? So I do feel a bit sorry for FF a little bit,
yeah,
but from what I've been told, it was never as bad as what they said. It actually did make a bit of its money on the
yeah,
international
yeah,
markets.
yeah,
I think it broke even, but
yeah,
Superman did definitely beat it,
yeah,
and got its money back plus.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? But it weren't going to be the billion film. I
yeah,
don't think it reached 1 billion.
yeah,
All of them were hoping they were going to be 2 billion
yeah,
films, and I think
yeah.
you're sadly going to be mistaken if you think that's going to be happening,
Mm,
right? Unless it's a Mission Impossible film, you got no frigging chance, right?
yeah,
Of it
yeah,
being 2 million, two
yeah.
billion, should I say? So, yeah,
I mean, I'm thinking with the Alien films, there's no reason why they can't continue to make them. You know,
no, I mean,
there's no
I think
reason why.
everybody's
We had the
disappointed.
Alien Romulus, which a lot of people didn't like as much, but I thought it was okay.
No,
I
it was
don't
an
think it was
okay film,
terrible. I
but
don't think it was
I
terrible.
think what it is,
Yeah,
nobody can really come up with something that the executives want. Okay, in regards to continuing Alien, the last Alien film, that where Ripley is back on Earth, because
yeah,
that where that film ends, which is, what is it, Alien Resurrection, isn't it? Something like that. Anyway,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
where the clone comes
The
back.
clone business. Yeah,
The alien's been scrunched out, and it's got a
yeah,
bony head and all that sort of shit. But
yeah,
she finally gets back to Earth.
yeah.
And everybody's going, when are we having a continuation of that? Why don't we keep going back and doing prequels and bits in
Yeah,
between
we
and all
could
the
have
rest
all
of them?
sorts.
Right?
There's loads of scope to make more films. I
So,
think it's a good
yeah,
thing that they could make lots more films, but
yeah.
not TV
But
series.
I've got a funny feeling that the reason for that not being done, that film, after Alien Resurrection, is if you do that, there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, yeah,
Because if that flops, you've done the future, you've done Back in the Past. What else can you do other
and
than
uh,
subside things that go
one
off
of
in
the
tangents?
marketing things is obviously trying to get Sigourney Weaver, and of course she's probably,
No,
very.
apparently she's been roped in.
Has
I
she?
did read a
Oh,
report in the last two
oh
or three
dear.
weeks.
What, into the TV series?
Well, no, we don't know.
Oh,
All
oh,
we
I
know
hope
is
it's
that
a
she has
film.
been. She
Why
said
can't yeah,
it's something that apparently she said that
yeah.
she wouldn't be averse to it.
Well, let's hope it's a film. Let's hope she doesn't go into TV series. That'd be terrible. So what else? Yeah. I picked this up for £3. Predator 2. And it's
Danny
great.
Glover.
This is
Danny
actually.
Glover. Yeah.
Um, I mean, Danny Glover is great in this. What is not to like? And well, you've got Bill Paxton, you've got Gary Busey. It's a good cast, and the setting is good. It's such good fun. This,
It's funny you brought it up, actually,
yeah,
because I remember watching that in on VHS. I'd seen it in
yeah,
the pictures. VHS was pan and scan.
yeah,
Right, pan and scan.
yeah,
The ending of that film, not to give it too much away, but there is going on to the alien ship.
mm,
It
yes,
looked bloody awful. Danny
yeah,
Glover's head was an ellipse. It was sort of like elongated. It looked,
yeah,
it wasn't. the circles were not
That's
circles
what
anymore.
Pan and Scan did.
It was expanded out.
Yeah.
And it looked bloody awful.
Yeah.
Bloody awful. Everybody, you saw all the bad special effects. The 4K of that actually shows off the bad special effects.
Yeah.
By the way, Size just said something. I must mention this. Another film I saw this week was a Diane Keaton film.
Yeah, I like Diane Keaton. Yeah.
Sad. My sister's just turned up, so I'm going to let you continue, and you can talk uninterrupted for once. All right.
Yeah, sorry. I'll talk about what I've been watching anyhow. Still go on. Right. Let's see. Yeah. So that was Predator 2, which I totally enjoyed. Then this was a film that Jamie had sent to me, which was Catch Me If You Can, which is just such a lot of fun. DiCaprio and Tom Hanks. What can you say about this film? It's just it's brilliant, and especially when you realize it's based on a true story. The way he's just so clever. DiCaprio's character, he's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And Tom Hanks, I liked where their sort of cat and mouse relationship develops, and they almost have a mutual respect for each other. It's so well done. I just loved it. The style and everything about this film was fantastic. Really enjoyed it. I mean, what can I say about that? Is just a great film. Then I think my film of the week, this film just, wow, what can I say about this film? It just blew me away. I immediately, after I watched it, I bought the Blu-ray version of it, and I bought the film soundtrack, the score. It's Cold Mountain. Cold Mountain. Wow. What can I say? The way this film, it's just an epic journey, and it's so well done. Nicole Kidman again, isn't she great in these kind of films? She is so great. And the other person who I think stole this film in many ways was Renée Zellweger. Loved her character. She was a great foil to Nicole Kidman. And then Jude Law was good as well. This film, it starts the Civil War, when the Civil War is declared and everybody's going off to war, and it's just brilliant. It's in southern states. We see it from the southern state viewpoint. Oh wow! What can I say? Everything about it. The acting, the scenes, that some of the battle scenes were fantastic. When there's this mass explosion that occurs, and wow, the way they'd filmed it, you actually felt you was actually in the explosion. The dust and the things, the bodies piled around. It was like something out of the First World War trenches. It was absolutely amazing. I think the other thing, the cinematography on this is just fantastic. It gives it that epic feel. And I said the acting. I mean, Nicole Kidman. I mean, the more you watch her, you realize what such a great actress she is. She can do all sorts. She can just do anything. And what I liked as well about this, this was the first time I saw it, I wasn't sure how it was going to end. I was never sure. I thought maybe it would go the way it did go, but then I wasn't sure. And I still think the ending is a really good ending. I think it kind of wraps it up in a good way. I wouldn't want to say any more than that, because if anybody hasn't seen it, then it might not be everybody's cup of tea. But I love the fact that it was an epic film. It just had that feel to it. It's something that I wish sometimes I'd like to see even more of these kind of films. And this, I say, it works so well. And of course, what immediately attracted me as well was the soundtrack, the songs, and also it was the one who's doing the singing is Jack White from the White Stripes. Brilliant. There's performances on the. This is another thing. Sometimes you watch these DVDs. This has got it's a 2-disc set, and the second disc is just full of extras. It really is. You've got a concert of the music being played. You've got all behind the scenes about the composers, as well as that, and talking about all the filming. I mean, the extras must go on possibly a couple of hours. I don't know. I was going through them. They were absolutely the making of documentary. So much detail and all, but the history of it all. But the music, I just fell in love with the music, and I thought, I've got to have the soundtrack. So I did a quick music magpie, and it was there for £3. £3. I thought, CD soundtrack from this film. I bought it straight away. And then looking, as I say, on this documentary about it, the composing of it, and we saw behind the scenes in studio, and oh man, it just blew me away. It made you. It's films like this that make you love film. And I love all different kinds of films, and this again is another aspect. And I love the historical side as well, seeing it from the South's viewpoint as well, which is always interesting to see because it's an interesting part of history. But Nicole Kidman's character was absolutely brilliant, and I say when she's with Renee Zellweger's character, their relationship together is just fantastic. It's one of, like when you get, it's almost like a buddy for a females. That's what it is. It works so well. And I couldn't help but smile so much at their relationship. And also it's also quite brutal, this film as well. There is a lot of brutality. People just trying to survive. As you can imagine, the Civil War had such a dramatic effect on life in that area. And you add things like, well, an obvious one is food shortages. And also you had people roaming around who were terrorizing people. They were supposedly keeping people in order, but they were chasing after deserters, and really frightening people, forcing people to do what they wanted to do. It's just so good to see a film showing all that, as well as being very entertaining, and that epic feel that you get from this film is something that I really enjoy seeing. So anybody who's not seen Cold Mountain, probably most of you have. It's me who's normally behind. I really recommend it if you like that kind of film. Something with a good epic feel, and amazing acting. And watching this, as I said, made me want to watch even more Nicole Kidman films. And I have a few I've watched, but probably not scratched the surface of some of her films. She's really good. I've also, one of my favorite films is Eyes Wide Shut, Kubrick's last one, which I think she's superb in it. And then seeing this one makes me think again how good she is. And I've watched those. There's the other one. I've forgotten what it's called now. Melancholia. That's it. The Melancholia film. Excellent. She's great. I'd like to see more of her, definitely. So that's me going on about that. Thank you, Jamie, for sending me this. I say, the fact that I know when I fall in love with a film, and I fell in love with a film, so I thought, gotta have the Blu-ray and the music. And I don't have to do that with the music, but when you see it going cheap, you thought, oh, great. So £3 Music Magpie film soundtrack. You can't get better than that. You can't. Oh. Right. So let's go through some of the comments. We'll start with Cy. Hello, Cy. Evening, gang. He says, yes. Hello there. And then we've got Steve's Gaming Part 2. Hello, everyone. And then we've got Cy. Here we are. The Death Race sequels have Matt Gross from Bros, yeah, in the lead role. I didn't know that. No. I think I've only seen the Death Race 2000. Yeah, I haven't seen the sequels. No. Probably worth checking out, though. Yeah. And he says, sorry, wrong twin. Yeah, Luke Goss. Yeah, I know there's which one you. Yeah. And Cy says, I always remember Roddy McDowall in Columbo. Yeah, I think I've got memories of that as well. Roddy McDowall just popped up in everything. He literally did in the TV heaven. If you want to look at it in some of these shows, he was everywhere. And with Columbo, wow. In Columbo, just one of those fantastic detectives, timeless. What a great creation Columbo was. And I say Ronnie McDowell just popped up everywhere. It's great to see him. I always think as well with Ronnie McDowell, it's interesting. I was saying about great films and TV series as well. I love the Planet of the Apes films, and of course, they did a TV series of Planet of the Apes, and maybe that just goes against the argument because I really enjoyed it. I know it got cancelled, I think, after about 13 episodes, and for some reason was popular in our country rather than America. And I do actually own that on DVD, the Planet of the Apes series, and I enjoyed that. So there goes my argument. But in most cases, that doesn't happen. But that's just an example I could think of where a film did produce a reasonable series. But I don't think the critics, as I remember, were that keen on it. And obviously in America, the viewing figures weren't good enough. But for some reason, they were quite good because I think it was shown on a Sunday or something like this. It grabbed an audience time slot and did really well. And Columbo, he's always television gold. Always going to be Columbo, I think, as people remember. I mean, it's just such a great creation. I know Delboy's a big fan of it. Amazing, absolutely amazing. And Tony, I know is. Tony's got. I think he may well have the Blu-ray of it. Am I wrong on that? I don't know. No, I may be wrong on that. I know Tony was a fan of it. But yeah, Columbo, what can you say? I think I've got. Do you know they released the first series of Columbo? They're quite long movies. I've got one of them on Blu-ray. But yeah, there we are. I'm probably wrong, actually, the more I think about it. But I don't think they released any more. I think they just released that one. They may have released the second one, but then they've just put out the whole box set of Columbo, haven't they? Which is rather expensive. So probably Tony has just got the DVDs on that one. Mugman Movie said evening all, and then Sai says, hi Mugman, and Do it here, Delboy. That was about the rant. That was a good laugh there. Let Tony York have it, Del. I think he probably did, as usual. He normally does. Or is it Muckman? Aha. Yes. You can guess. Tony says, good evening, Ian, Del, and chat. Good evening, Tony. Yeah, he's not here at the moment. You could have a rant against him. I'm going on disappearing like he does. I don't know. Oh dear. No, I know it's quite difficult for him. I know he does a great job. Don't tell him that it'll embarrass him, but seriously, he's a great carer. He does a great job looking after his mom. Fantastic, I think he does. Really amazing. Anyhow, don't tell him I've said that. It's just when Del said bastard, I automatically thought of Tony York. Yeah, isn't it? Yes. And then James says, this is the weirdest rant Delboy has ever done. Yeah, and there has been a few, and he's saying that sigh. And then James says, hi, Tony. And then Si says, hey, Tony York. And then Tony York, thanks so much, Del. I didn't know you cared. No. I signed Jamie. And then Muckman says, I'm 3 episodes in on the Alien Earth, and I'm disappointed so far. Apparently, episode 5 is amazing, though. I don't think I could get that. I really, it's just enough's enough. But yeah, maybe I should try again. No, I couldn't. I don't know. It just did me in. But there we are. And then Tony says, I watched the first few minutes of it and couldn't be bothered going into any further. Do you know, I know what you mean there. I'm surprised I managed a couple of episodes, to be honest. I'd had enough by then. It makes you think. And Si says, I've been hesitant about watching Alien Earth. Probably even more now. I think it is. For me, it's just, as I said it, I just think it's streaming fodder. They make these things to stream, Disney do, because, you know, they've got to put something to try and get the viewers in. And that's what they do. They create this. They don't bother with the scripts that much. They make them as cheaply as possible, I suspect, because they've got to, produce so many. The scripts. What on earth are they doing with the scripts? You know, sometimes they look good. I mean, it looked okay. You know, I think its look was good, but and the acting, it's like getting poor actors as well. The acting was, you had no connection at all with the characters. The acting was so bad. For me, it was. You at least, even if you've got shortcomings in the look of it, if you've got a good script with good actors, it doesn't matter always about the shortcomings. But this hasn't got anything going for it, in my opinion. There may be other people who perhaps might like it, but I'd given up. I mean, I've really given up on it. And then Tony says, was trying to make use of a 3 years Disney Plus courtesy of Lloyd's. Can't find anything worth watching on it. I know what you mean. It's disappointing, isn't it? It really is. I think the things that I'll probably watch are probably more of the old traditional Disney cartoons, which I haven't seen for years. But it's always the earlier ones, the classic ones. I don't mind rewatching all those again. I can enjoy that. But in newer stuff, they need to up their game quite a lot. I say these. What can I say? Just terrible. And then Muckman says there's a touch of old Touchstone films on there, Tony, if you know what you're looking for. Oh, right. James says, I want an alien Earth where Earth is overrun by aliens. It's like a proper war on Earth against the xenophobes. Yeah. I get you. Yeah, I get you. I just think it's such a great series of films. Why can't they create that into a film? Why can't they? Because I'll show you something. It would be a hell of a lot better than that would be, because they'd have to have better scripts. They'd just have more heart into it. Get better actors even. Stick to the films. There's still a lot they can do with the Alien set of films, I think. There's a lot you could still do. I mean, I know Alien Romulus got some flack at the time, but it's a downside better than this was, and it's watchable. I could watch Alien Romulus again. I bought it and enjoyed it, and it. So I think they should persist with it and carry on and make some films. But from what Delboy said, if it's got another year, they're going to do with it. Oh boy, what can you say? Ruined, absolutely ruined. Yeah, what can you say? I'll have another browse sometime, Jenny. Certainly glad I've never bothered paying for it though. Yeah, same here. Yeah. That sounds a promising premise, Jamie. I thought it was what this series is going to involve. Yeah. Jamie says, won't be on for full duration tonight. I have to get a horror film in for my 30 days of horror. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I know you've got all that going on. Lots of great horror films. F4 is in my top 10 of 2025. That's a Fantastic Four, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. I'm Delboy's sent me a download of that yesterday, so I'm hoping to watch it, and I'm hoping that it's going to be good. If it's as good as Thunderbolts were, I'll enjoy it. Yeah, because Thunderbolts was great. That's what I want Marvel to do. More like Thunderbolts with a lot of heart, with just something that you can enjoy without all this rubbish we've had from Marvel. And then Jamie says, watch Return of the Living Dead for the first time this week. It was enjoyable, but not as great as the cult following as you believe. It's interesting. I've never watched it. I've never seen that one. I think I've only watched the first 3 originals. And they're the ones that I've got in my collection. I've not watched any of these sort of ones after the remakes, the more modern ones. I just watched I've just got the first 3 originals. But I presume people do talk about them. I think they must have a following, but yeah, interesting. Yeah. And then proper 80s cheesy horror. That's what we want. That's what I want. Yeah. I went to see Return of the Living Dead at the cinema last week. It was an absolute blast. Oh, fantastic. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it. You always have good films at your local cinema. Definitely. Fantastic to see those. And then Jamie's put a thumb up there. And Tony says, rather perversely, I've been watching more westerns than horror so far in October. I'll get a few Hammers in soon. Oh, you've got to get Hammer films. Now, I'm doing a thing with Jamie about scary films. I think it's coming up on a Sunday not this Sunday, the Sunday after. I picked 10 films, and you'll be surprised to know that I haven't got any Hammer films in there. Because if I'm honest, I love Hammer films, absolutely adore Hammer films. But they never scared me really that much. They didn't really. And that's why, but I still think Hammer is, I can sit and watch Hammer films all day. I could do. Really, really could sit and watch them. Absolutely love Hammer films. And I love the stuff which Indicator got releases of when Hammer were making films before the Gothic films, and they made a lot of good films then. A lot of really good British sort of detective kind of films, crime films, yeah, that sort of thing. They did quite a few of those sort of films and good thrillers. Yeah, there were some great films. And even when they were still doing the Gothic stuff, they still were putting out films as well. But I think to go back to this about the frightening why Hammer films, the only really frightening one, but it didn't frighten me, would be something like The Witches, because it was something like in a ordinary community that witchcraft is the underbelly in the modern world. When it's not Gothic, but when it gets into the modern world, it suddenly becomes a bit more frightening because it's more nearer to home, if you want to look at it like that. Though when Dracula gets into the modern world, I enjoy him, but it's not frightening. Though I never found Dracula that frightening, actually. Of the Frankenstein films, there is one that maybe I would consider. Maybe I didn't include it though. Was Plague of the Zombies. Plague of the Zombies is excellent. That's a Hammer film, and that maybe has a bit more frightening, but I wouldn't say I was really that frightened by it. But the zombies are interesting in that film. Yeah, but that's just me going on a bit there. And then Si says, sad news about Dan Keaton over the weekend. Yeah, Dan Keaton, for me, I know we have to talk about it. I know it's the Woody Allen films. I just have to watch the Woody Allen films and try and not think about the things that happened to Woody, with all the scandal and all that stuff. But one time, like with Annie Hall, she was absolutely brilliant. She's in Sleeper, I think, as well. Love and Death, some of those early ones. Yeah, I really liked it. But the film that I always loved of Dan Keaton's, I went to the cinema to see it, was Looking for Mr. Goodbar. Looking for Mr. Goodbar is just an amazing film. I know it's available, isn't it, on the Criterion collection. I wish we could get a release here. It's something I would definitely look at getting, because I think Looking for Mr. Goodbar is just an amazing film. And so when I went to see it at the cinema and thought, wow, this is totally what you not expect from Dan Keaton, and it's great. It's just something special about it, yeah, it's a film that I would definitely want to possibly get in my collection, but I don't think. I think there's only a Criterion American version available on Blu-ray, which is a bit sad, really. But you never know; we might get a release here. I don't know. It'd be just too expensive to get that Criterion collection one. I don't know how much it cost, but it'd be far too expensive. But yeah. Do you want to add anything about Dan Keaton?
Well, I did an RIP, didn't I?
Yeah.
On my blog. A lot of people don't mention her role in the 2 Godfather films.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously, I think she's another actress that it's more about the quality than it is the quantity. Even though she's been in quite a bit, if you look at some people, you know, they've done hundreds. You know, I don't think off the top of my head I could name 10 films without mentioning 5 of them by Woody Allen.
That's right. Yeah.
So, and that's the problem. And then when I think about Woody Allen, and I think of those films, they were all good quality films. Radio Days, Manhattan, Annie Hall.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up watching things like Bananas and all of that.
Yeah, I did. I loved those. Yeah.
So it's such a sad thing that you know that controversy sort of like
it's ironic in a way because Manhattan involves him with a younger girl, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And when I see that now,
but if you took that away, what you know about it, it's nothing. It's just that you now look at it now as being
creepy.
Is this an indication of things that went on later on and all of this? Sort of
and it's such.
Then when they've introduced when they've interviewed Diane and they've interviewed other actresses, they didn't know it was going on.
Yeah,
and I some of them said I had an indication.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, you can actually live with people and they can hide it so well.
Yeah.
And then there's the other aspect of it of maybe it wasn't the all-encompassing thing that we see it as. It was little snippets, and it maybe the media blows it up bigger, makes it that sensitive thing that we watch and see. I'm not saying that about JS.
It's like
I don't even want to mention his name. Or GG, the other one, right?
I have to mention it's like, sorry, it's like Michael Jackson. Nothing, he's never been found guilty, he was never taken to court, whatever controversies are around that. And I think with Woody Allen, you have to say the same. There is controversy there, but it doesn't stop us admiring his work at all. It doesn't. It shouldn't stop.
It's destroyed his future life, but we shouldn't let it. Sometimes you have to look at it and go, do we destroy the past as well?
Yeah.
And you can look at it from the slavery point of view, right? I've mentioned it. I've mentioned it a million times, and that is there are games that are based in the 17th century, the 16th century, and all of that sort of stuff. And when you're a pirate, or say, in a game, then slavery was part of the cargo that you had. Do you take that out of the game when it's a historical thing and it went on?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
You've got at some points you've got to acknowledge and say we're a different people now.
Yeah. But it happened. It happened. You can't. Yeah. You can't change it. You can't change it.
And I don't agree with censoring history.
Yeah.
As long as you put it into the context that it was deplorable.
Yeah.
And it lasted for years and years and years, and it took years and years to reverse it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't matter that. There's hymns and all sorts of stuff that come from sea captains saying there was deplorable practice.
That's right.
What's that? Amazing Grace is one, isn't it? I don't know.
I don't know about Amazing Grace. That's probably one of the most popular ones. But you're right.
Because there are what they call slavers songs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're all played on the black notes, believe it or not, on the piano. And you have to look at these things and go, why is that? but at the end of the day, even the captains didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But they have to survive, and they waited and waited and waited until the law came in and said, right, this is now illegal. But it took a long time for it to go around the world.
Yeah. In
but,
fact,
I mean, was it Britain that actually?
We were one of the first countries to abolish slavery. People forget that, and we even sent boats round Africa, trying to blockade slave traders.
Yeah, because we were kings of the seas.
Yeah, so
you'd think it would have a huge impact, but I think America's side of things was that they had plantations and huge amounts of gaps and stuff, and so it must have been much harder for the message to come across, and harder therefore to turn as well people's opinions on it. Around, and that's why even in the 60s it was like, you can't eat in here and all of this sort of stuff. It's a deplorable thing to think about. But at least in England it was a bit better. I look at it as being the same sort of hidden message that gays were in the 60s. I mean, it went on, but the police didn't, were on it. But you could hide it, and
I mean, it's sad, but today slavery hasn't been abolished, and even in our country, there still might be some slavery. People being held against their will. That, like, they're young girls, often families send them over to make money for the families to send back, and these rich families take them and basically treat them like slaves, don't they? Yeah, it has happened. We've seen that happen.
It's a multifaceted word, slave, because it's not just about it being, like Muhammad Ali in his poem "We Came in Chains," which is, by the way, a fantastic poem. Which did he read that out during Luther King's assassination? I think it was, wasn't it? "We Came in Chains." It was at the funeral.
Yes.
And it always moves me when I hear it. Probably the less said about it, the better. But because we're talking really Woody Allen here, and
just one thing I'd say about Manhattan, it's actually possibly one of Woody Allen's greatest films.
I mean, I like Radio Days.
It looks
Annie Hall I like, but Manhattan I sort of like. I could sort of like appreciate more than Annie Hall. Radio Days is great because it's more a period piece a bit later on.
Radio Days is good. But I do like those. I mean, I like Sleeper a lot. It's silly. It's
Sleeper.
Fun. Sleeper is. Anyhow, we better move on now.
By the way, I've missed it all. But what did you talk about? Awakenings?
We haven't talked about Awakenings. Didn't I talk about it when we said? I don't know. My brain. I'll
just go back. The last thing I heard was Predator 2, and then I had to go.
I didn't talk about. It's funny. It's funny that skipped. I thought at the time, because well, you're away. I think it'd be better if we just discuss them together.
Now, I'll just explain. Awakenings is something that I've ordered because it's the 35th anniversary this year, and it's coming out on 4K.
And you sent the download to me, and that's
because I wanted you. I didn't know whether you'd seen it.
I saw it at the cinema. It's one I definitely saw. It's 19. It must have been possibly one of the very late.
1990 it is. Yeah.
I saw it at the cinema because I was definitely with my wife watching that, and she loved it as well. I remember absolutely. I watched it today again. You sent it, and I'm really glad you sent it because it reminded me so much of those kind of hospitals which I've seen. I've been because my wife, she at one time had a breakdown and she went into the hospital like that. So a lot of the things that I saw there reminded me of what it was like. Also, Robert De Niro is so good in this film. I've forgotten. I think it's a film that when people talk about Robert De Niro's acting, I suspect people don't mention it that much. And his performance is so touching. It's so moving. It's a beautiful performance. I was thinking that. I was watching the way he was, the way he's acting. It's a great performance.
What about Julie Kavner?
Oh wow, everything, just great, absolutely. What can I say about it? It's a film. It's awakened me in a sense of remembering it, because I'd forgotten. I remember saying we went to that theater, the cinema, and we absolutely loved it.
It has one of the best opening sequences I've ever seen, where you see the little boys playing in the streets. You can see something's about to happen to this lad. It's to do with him writing.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to 60s. I think it's 60s. Is it 60s?
I think yes, it is. It's like 60s. Yeah.
And then you get into the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
And you understand how things that are going on then are happening now. In regards to, here's a medicine. It hasn't been fully field tested.
Yeah.
It's got to go through all of these tests.
Yeah.
If you want to have it, it's going to cost you thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
Or dollars or whatever it is. To have this treatment, and none of these little hospitals or whatever it is have got the money to do it. And you have to find that money somehow.
That's right. Yeah.
And then you've got to get results, and if you don't get the results, the amount of pressure, and I think it's shown on Robin Williams's face and mind. What am I doing? Have I really dropped a ball here? I put everything into this drug, and I want to help these people. And because there wasn't immediate results, they didn't know whether they needed to add more or take away, or anything. It was like an absolute. It must have been a scattergraph of graphs. Going, we gave more yesterday, so we'll do less today, and so less didn't work, so we'll up the dose then and go the other way, and all of this sort of stuff. You can never get a flat line on whether what the middle ground is, because you just go, it's not working after 3 days, so you go for another 3 days and you up it and all of this sort of stuff. You don't start at the bottom and go up. You go up, down, and then up, down like this, and it starts looking like the teeth of a saw. And it must have been so amazing when they started to come round, and they all came round sort of at the same time. So it was really the body's way of soaking it in.
I know
they wouldn't have known. For all they knew, you had to take this drug and you had to have it with Jello or something, jelly, they had on a Wednesday or something, right? It didn't work unless you ate jelly or something. This is the randomness of this particular type of drug and the hardness of medicine in general. But it goes on today. We get new cancer treatments, and it's like, this is probably amazing, but we can't do anything about it because we haven't got any money to actually.
That's right. That's
actually field test this thing. And so it languishes for 10 years in all sorts of shit. And you think to yourself, wow, just think of all the people that have died of cancer in the last 10 years. If we could have just found a few hospitals that have had that money and all that sort of stuff. I love that film because it makes me think. It makes me think.
I knew about well, I worked in a medical library, and the book that he wrote was on the syllabus of medical studies, and this was before that film came out. I knew about this, so when the film came out, I thought, wow, this is amazing, because we had the book, and I knew about the book. In fact, I think I read the book as well. That's one of the perks you could do. We had quite a few copies, but it was on the syllabus, and I thought, oh, it was an easy book to read. Amazing book. It's obviously something that is studied and looked at still.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I would imagine even now it's still looked at.
I don't think Penny Marshall did that many directing films. She did that one.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny that when I think about Penny Marshall films, the two films that come up are Awakenings and A League of Their Own. Right?
Yeah.
Both of them are historical true stories.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
Right? That the two films that she's probably going to be recognized as a director, and she was a pioneering director, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Right? Because there aren't that many women directors around.
There isn't. No, that's still true.
Penny Marshall to me was always one of the Laverne and Shirleys. I mean, she was.
Yeah.
I think she was Laverne.
Yeah. Yeah.
She will always be Laverne to me, but she did some absolute crackers. I mean, Awakenings is out the park. League of Their Own. I mean, I knew nothing about the women's baseball league that was going on during the war. Nothing about it at all. And that league went on for what was it, 12 years?
Yeah.
And I'm not a big baseball. I like rounders, I mean, whichever way you look at it, we're not American, and and we're not into it seems Americans love stats. Jesus Christ, the amount of people that turn around and say, oh yeah, Babe Ruth, he did 76 home runs, blah blah blah, bloody, and I'm going, I can't even tell you what shoe size David Beckham is, let alone what fucking stats are for, right? So it's a little bit like that, but I'll watch a film like League of Their Own and see a drama about two sisters and being on two separate sides, and all about Tom Hanks being an actual ex-baseball player and then managing a women's team and being an alcoholic and trying to get past that and all of that sort of stuff. While men were going off to war, he was left to do baseball, which must have been hard on him as well. There's some absolutely fantastic quotable lines in A League of Their Own. And the way they aged up Gina Davis and all of that at the end, where they actually saw her, I think she was called Doris or something. I can't remember. But she worked on a farm, didn't she? A milk farm and all of this sort of stuff. It's interesting, that there were all these baseball agents going around looking for women talent to keep that industry going, because if you didn't have that industry, then the money would have been going somewhere else. Probably the men that come back from the war wouldn't have had a baseball thing to actually go back to. They'd probably demolished all of the grounds and everything, or turned them into football pitches or whatever. I have no idea during the war how it impacted American football. Haven't seen a film about that. Don't know anything about the history of that. But I find I can understand baseball more than I can American football. So there you go. I'm glad about that in a way. So, but I just wanted to mention that,
that's
and all of that sort of stuff.
We
went about the FF and all of that, and I forgot that you had Disney Plus. That was stupid of me, because you can watch it yourself, can't you? So that was a stupid one to send. But
it's all right. I was put off by Disney Plus with that my rant, but I have gone back. It is at least it gave me. I could watch Thunderbolt.
Disney Plus is more than just Marvel and there is they do own 20th Century Fox, and they do own some of
that's right, they're on there. I've got to plow through it yet, but I've got plenty.
They've also got Hulu, I think, in there, and I think Screen.
They have.
So there's a number of other things that you can look at.
It was just a bonus, I was glad. For me, the fact that I was able to watch Thunderbolts was I'm really happy to watch that, because it restored a bit of my faith.
I got a question for everybody, right? One of my favorite 80s films it's got a 40th anniversary this year, and I think everybody knows what I'm going to be talking about, right? And it's a trilogy, and it's probably the best trilogy ever out there, right? And it's got so many different versions coming out in the next month, right? Do you think it's now a cash grab in regards to Back to the Future? Because that's what I was talking about. If you haven't really worked it out yet, there's a collector's set, there's a steelbook set, there's an individual steelbook set, there's the normal set, there's the and they're priced at things like $49.99. The collector's edition is 180 odd something pounds, and there was only 5,000 worldwide, etc. And I haven't heard that it's actually a new pressing either. It is just the same thing the last time it was out. Is this now a cash grab, or is there actually people still out there that need to buy this film that can't get it in the older version?
There will be. There's always going to be collectors, but because
even I balked at buying it. Right? It's like, there's this new steelbook and all this, and I'm going, but all I'm getting is the paraphernalia that's around it, and there's some new documentaries. Don't get me wrong, there are some new documentaries involved. There's about, I think if you buy the collector set, it turns around and says there is 90 minutes of new extras. And I'm thinking to myself, 90 minutes? So I'm spending 180 something pounds getting the same crap that I had all the other times. And I've got 90 minutes of new features.
Yeah.
Right? Which will end up on YouTube. Right? Or it'll be on the documentary channel or something, right? And I'm thinking to myself, 50 quid for this. I could buy the one from 3 years ago and it will be marked down to 20 something pounds because it's all the old stock that they want to get rid of, right? And this thing's got, the only thing it's got going for it is it's got things like posters and lobby cards that are slightly higher quality than the one that was in the last one, right? So I'm just saying out there, is it a cash grab? And I'm going to turn around and say, in my opinion, yes.
Yeah.
Is that a cash grab?
Yeah.
They put a 40 on it, bit of new artwork. There you go.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, there'll be a ton of them out there going, yeah, take my money, 150 quid for 3 films, 49.99, 49.99, 49.99. You work it out, 3 of those, 150 quid, right?
Yeah, it is one. Anyhow, I'll move through that one. We've got Jamie saying, also watch The Fearless Vampire Killers, Dom, and The Frighteners. Yeah.
The Frighteners, I did a
video on The Frighteners.
I did a video on The Frighteners.
Yeah, I know you did. There was somebody who did one, yeah.
Someone? Yeah, I wonder who that could be.
I don't know.
That's that fat bastard, isn't it?
It was fairly recent. It was fairly recent. Yeah.
Something his name because he's a right fat kid. Yeah, I don't know the one you're on about.
I don't think I've seen Dom. I've not seen Dom.
I haven't seen Dom. I've seen 100 times The Fearless Vampire Killer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a bit of a comedy elements in that, isn't there?
But it's foreign as well, isn't it?
Yeah. And is it Polanski who's in that as well?
Yeah. But if I remember rightly, it was one of those ones that is foreign. And was it dubbed or was it just set abroad? And it's a co-production between them and whatever it is. I know
it used to pop up on TV going years back, as I remember. Yeah. But yeah, Dom, I've no idea, but I'm sure Jamie will have. Frighteners, we've talked about it quite a bit before, haven't we? Yeah. And then, but absolutely awesome news about the lead singer of Lost Prophets getting his comeuppance in prison. Yeah, exactly. I don't need to comment anymore on that, but yeah, exactly. One of my few 4Ks is a Predator 1 and 2 set. Still not seen it. Thanks for reminding me. Therefore, you've got some homework. You do watch those two.
Yeah.
See what you think of Predators.
Well, you were in the middle of doing Predator 2, and I told you, I said, it's one of those. I think it's a bit underrated, really. I mean, it's not as good as the first film. The second film, though, the idea that the cities are a jungle as much as a jungle is a jungle, right? Right. And the idea that it could actually thrive in our environment. Christ, it could actually go around being invisible for the rest of its life. The Predator is a weird thing in the fact that it's one of those ones that carries a trophy around from all of its killings. And it only attacks if you've got a weapon in your hand. You know, if you've got a way of defending yourself. So it does have a weird type of honor about it. And that's why at the end they gave him a gun. Yeah, he went off the spaceship. It's one of those. It is a weird film, but it's a good one. It's got a bit of nudity in it. It's got a bit about police being corrupt in it at the beginning, and all of that sort of stuff. It's got a bit of everything in there.
It's enjoyable. Danny Glover just makes the film. He's great, absolutely great.
You saw an awful lot as well about how alien medicine works. I thought that was lovely. That thing that sort of like span round and turned into a dish. It was putting its acid or something together and rubbing it into its body and all of this sort of stuff.
It's great. Now here we've got. Let's have a look. Sad about Diane Keaton. Also sad about Drew Struzan passing away yesterday too.
Yeah, I don't know too much about Drew Struzan, but I do know from Muckman that she did a lot of poster.
It says here in this comment below, Drew Struzan did lots of iconic film posters.
So what have I just said? I just said I think she did a lot of film posters.
Yeah. You're ahead of him. And then Sai says, he did John Carpenter's film posters. Oh, wow. Yeah. Excellent. And then Jamie says, glad you enjoyed the films I sent you in. Yeah, I did. Absolutely loved it.
Oh, has that bastard sent you more shit, has he?
Yeah. He's right about this as well. He also stars in Cold Mountain. I was saying how brilliant Cold Mountain was. I don't know if you was there when I was praising it as my film of the week. But you'll know about that when I send you for your blog. I'll go on about it.
Great. You know, this is what I get, you see, right? I keep advertising other people's bloody channels, right? Because in their bloody blogs, they turn around and say, oh, I must happen to mention about the 3 great films I've watched this week. And by the way, this one came from my friend Tony York, and this one came from my friend Muckman, and this one came from bollocks.
Well, you've got it.
Right? Jesus Christ, this is not an advertising board, it's a blog.
Be thankful I'm blooming commenting, lad. Hey, bye.
Right? And then right at the end, after doing an advertisement for your channel for about 10 minutes, it says, by the way, my question for this week, do you take 2 sugars or 1 with your coffee?
Wait, it's better
after all that.
Be thankful. Be thankful. Be thankful that you're getting it.
You wipe your ass with your right hand or your left hand. I mean, this is, after all that.
And I can plug my channel as well. I mean, that's really good. Yeah. I'm not daft. You got to plug your channel, haven't you? As much as you can. Oh dear!
You couldn't get more blatant. I tell you what, you couldn't get more blatant if you hadn't turned around and said, I've been looking at my channel. By the way, it's called Ian Hill the Ramblings, right? And I've been around now for around about 4 years. But anyway, I digress. I was watching these 3 films, which, by the way, I've just done a review of this week. But if you don't want to watch that, I'll just mention it here that these 3 films, one of them is my personal favorite. What?
Oh, yeah. To be fair, you do advertise you advertise a whole lot of channels.
Of course I do.
And that's really good.
As much as I'm taking the piss, I do not stop at trying to
promote
heavily advertise channels that I like.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
this is what you've got to remember about a blog, right? It's not an advertising board, really, but
No, you should
things that
talk
I
about what you
watch,
enjoy, what you
things
like.
that I watch shape
Yeah,
my life.
yeah,
As much as me watching children's TV shaped my education, because I saw
yeah,
things like Think of a
yeah,
Number and all of that sort of stuff with Johnny
yeah,
Bull, right? What I watch on YouTube now makes me think about how I'm going to be,
yeah,
right? Because they could be touching upon subjects that.
yeah,
So I saw last week I was watching Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan, right? And it made me think about my mum, because that film is multifaceted in regards to age, loss, youth, death,
yeah, yeah,
life,
yeah,
and so many other things all rolled up in that film.
yeah,
And so you can't help but think, what's loss going to be like when my mum's gone?
yeah,
I'm getting older and I'm trying to help her, and yet I myself are creaking with my left knee every time I get down on it to try and do things with her legs, say, when she's sitting down,
yeah,
and all that sort of stuff. And here's a film that's talking about loss and death
yeah,
and life, and he says at the end, how do you feel? And he says young, because he confronted the one thing that he's never really encountered in his life, and that is death. He's patted himself on the back, he said, by avoiding it. And he has had death, but not like this. He turns around and said, this is personal. It's something that I'm unaccustomed to. And you from my point of view, it's going to be the biggest loss of all.
of course.
Because once my mother is gone, what is there left? And you look at your own mortality, and I look at my own mortality every day.
So do I. Yeah, I do.
And it's weird, because it was only 20 years ago I was going out getting slosh, seeing if I could find a woman I could go over with that evening, and everything else, right? And here I am now. I don't think I could raise an eyebrow, let alone anything else. Right? I don't know, you know what I mean?
That's
Jesus.
a good joke, hey, Mrs.
You know what I mean? And it's not like it's not like it was slowly creeping on me. It's suddenly bloody creeping on me.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Believe me, when you're my age, it does. You start to notice it. When I was in my 50s, I thought I don't know. It's a different attitude even in your 50s. You're getting on a bit, but it's not. Your body starts to really show it now when you're 60s. Yeah. For me, it does. My body is just, it's a nuisance some of the time. I mean, what can you do? But you just have to live with all aches and pains and everything about it. It's no fun. People that say, oh, all this and that. It isn't no fun. If you don't, there's no point in sugarcoating it. Your body causes you more problems as you get older. I think it does, anyhow. Mine does. Anyhow, didn't Renée Zellweger win an Oscar for a performance in Cold Mountain? I don't know. Did she? She certainly deserved to. I think she may have been up for a nomination. I don't think she did.
Yeah, I thought
I think she was nominated. Yeah. Actually, it says here 7 Academy Award nominations. So it didn't win, but it got nominated.
Yeah.
Well, Martin, yeah. What a film. I'm still going on about it, but and the music.
She has won an Oscar, though, hasn't she?
For which film?
Don't know. I thought she had won an Oscar. I think she's an award-winning actress.
Oh, did she do the one with Judy Garland? Was she Judy Garland?
I'm not sure.
Because there was.
Do you want me to look it up?
Go on, have a look. Let's show that you've got the information.
Yeah, might as well look like I'm doing something this week.
I think she did Judy. I know Judy. Didn't Judy Garland's film get an Oscar? I may be wrong there. I might be right.
I thought it might have been something like she got a nomination. Yeah, hang on. Renée Zellweger is an American actress, the recipient of various accolades, including 2 Academy Awards. Yeah. 2 British Academy Film Awards and 4 Golden Globe Awards. And she's one of the world's highest paid actresses. I thought one of them might have been Bridget Jones' Diary, but I'm not sure.
I bet she's won a BAFTA for that, the British version. But
have a little look. Wikipedia is always your friend.
It is, yeah.
Hang on. 2 Academy Awards, 2, yeah. Born and raised in Texas, yeah. For her portrayal of Bridget Jones in the romantic comedy in the musical Chicago, Zellweger gained consecutive nominations.
Chicago.
She won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for playing a farmer in the war film Cold Mountain.
Yes. Oh, fantastic.
She won an Academy Award.
Brilliant.
In that film. So
I'm not surprised.
Whoever that was who said that, you were dead right.
Yeah, she was. She almost stole the film. Even though I say I love Nicole Kidman.
And you were right. She won the award. The next award was doing the film Judy, which is about Judy Garland.
See, I do know something. I'm not totally stupid, but yeah.
There you are.
Yeah. So
I mean, you're still a git.
Yeah, I'm still a git, but I do forget things. Hello, where am I?
But you're a less forgetful git than I just made you out to be.
I like that one. A less forgetful git. Yeah. That's a good one. I like that. That's a good. I have to put that on as a tag. A less for
as long as I make you laugh, I don't mind.
A less forgetful git. Old git. You need to put the old git there. Yeah, I'm not just a git. I'm an old git. Yeah. And then,
it's a sad loss, I think, to Birdseye. Really, that you retired when you did.
I'm not seeing this one. Nicole Kidman's greatest performance, hands down, is BMX Bandits.
Oh no way! That's one of her first roles, weren't she? She was a teenage actress, weren't she? Oh,
yeah. And then,
if you listen to her talking there, the Australian twang, it's like she sounds nothing like that now.
No, it's
wow.
Yeah. Interesting period of history, and I saw Cold Mountain on TV years ago. Don't remember much about it. Sounds worth picking up. You'd love it, Tony. You'd love it.
Cold Mountain's great.
Yeah, you would love it. I'm going to get the Blu-ray. I loved it so much. I've got to have it.
Do you know what? I think I've only got the DVD of that. I think it's like Glory. It's like when we were talking about Glory. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I said I haven't seen that film in years, and I looked, and I've got it on DVD, and then I looked for the Blu-ray of it, didn't I?
Yeah.
Found it, and then they bloody brought a steelbook out, didn't they? About 2 months later.
Oh yeah. So there's no steelbook of Cold Mountain then? No steelbook.
I don't think there is. No.
Not
that I own.
No.
Look, I did not collect steelbooks when steelbooks first started. I started collecting steelbooks
much
a certain period of time, and I think it was actually because of Marvel films. I think it was they started to bring out things like Iron Man in sort of like steelbook type fashions. And I thought, because I remember I made a conscious decision: I'll buy all the Marvel steelbooks, but I'll only buy other steelbooks if it's a film I really, really like. That soon changed. Then it was everything I'm buying is now steelbook.
You must be pleased to know that you must be having an influence on me, because as soon as I finished watching it, I went on eBay and was just looking for soundtrack of the film, and it came up that it was on Music Magpie for £3. So I quickly bought the film. I thought £3 on a CD, and I love the music. Can't go wrong. So you've got an influence there. I'm starting to take notice about film soundtracks.
I mean, I must admit, I do know that soundtracks probably are on the decline. I try to keep it alive. It's very difficult to keep something alive when you yourself, and I'm talking about me, don't really listen to the modern soundtrack in a film anymore. I still listen to the older stuff, and when I say older stuff, I mean pre-2000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I still like early, like 2005, 2004, 2003 soundtracks and stuff. But I must admit, unless it's an exceptional piece, say things like J.J. Abrams brought out Star Trek, I'd be interested in knowing what the score's like, right? And then I'll actively be listening because I'm actually interested in knowing. I wonder whether they're going to be any motifs in there from the original Star Trek series.
Yeah.
I'm actively listening in while I'm watching the film to the soundtrack, and then I'll go away going, do you know what? Actually, that weren't bad. I think I'll go out and buy that, right? But I don't do it. I rarely watch a film like, I don't know, like Formula One, F1, that F1 movie, right?
Right.
And go, I remember coming out or coming out of seeing that film and going, I like the soundtrack in that. In fact, actually, I'm usually coming out going, I don't remember anything about the music in it.
Well, dear. Yeah.
It's not like when we used to go and see Superman the movie or Star Wars or and coming out going humming the bloody theme tune and all of that kind of stuff. I rarely do that. In fact,
have you got the soundtrack that just occurred to me of Sinners?
No.
Did you get that? Oh. I presume there will be one, won't there? I'm suddenly interested. I'm thinking I might do some checking on that one. It just occurred to me because I loved Sinners so much, the music, all that blues music. I wonder if there is one. I might have a look. Mind you, it might be quite expensive at the moment.
Yeah.
It'd probably be expensive. I might.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I bet you any money well, it depends on how many pressings, because you can buy it on Spotify and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, which I wouldn't. I don't believe in any of that.
Yeah. I mean, just so you know, I think just because I have to do this.
Oh yeah, we know. We know. Drum roll. Yeah, go on.
The last Jerry Goldsmith song.
Yeah, here we are. Yeah.
I bought actually was, and I only bought it last year.
Yeah.
And it's because I've got to the dregs, if you see what I mean.
Oh, right.
Looney Tunes back in action.
The dregs.
Well, it was his last. It was his last score.
Yeah. Yeah. So
you see,
it's not rated.
He then went into ill health and then basically died. And I tell you what, I still remember the day I heard that coming over the radio saying that Jerry Goldsmith had died. I went, oh no.
Oh yeah.
Because at that particular time, nobody really knew whether there's going to be another Star Trek film or anything like that, or whether there was going to be another Star Trek TV series or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and you knew that he was collaborating more and more with his son, Joel.
Yeah.
Who actually did some Star Trek themes. Joel Goldsmith.
Yeah.
In fact, he did one of the movie ones, one of the Next Generation movie ones. Was it Insurrection or was it the?
I don't know. Yeah.
Was it the one before that? Not sure. Anyway, so yeah, it was last year. I bought the last. I had to mention it, Jerry Goldsmith.
Yeah, of course.
And that means that there must be now 77 episodes that we've had now where Jerry Goldsmith has been mentioned.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't looked at the trending.
Yeah.
But if I have, I've mentioned Jerry Goldsmith 77 times. I'm quite impressed with myself. How I could bring it into the conversation. Amazing, really. 77 different ways that you could bring Jerry Goldsmith into a screen. Amazing.
Right. Now, it says, what about Dig Ian? Well, yeah, I did. I'm just checking if you listened to Delboy's blog because I talked about Dig in his blog. But yes, if you listen to that, you should know what I thought about it. I absolutely
what is this?
loved it.
What is this? Is this the McMahon advertising channel? Or what?
Yeah.
What about Dig?
I'm just
he's already said, and I've already mentioned it myself. What the hell is wrong with you, McMahon?
I'm laughing at to see if that he actually had been listening to your blog now. Because I put quite a mention in there, so I'm just checking if he had been listening to your blog.
He's probably fast forward past everything, isn't he? Just stopping every 10 or 20 minutes in to see whether I'm still waffling or not.
But yeah, I did make a comment in his blog. But yes, I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. It's a documentary about two bands. The Brian Johnson Massacre, who I'd not heard of before, and the other one I had heard of, the Dandy Warhols. It's about these two. In the end, it becomes more a documentary about the Brian Johnson Massacre. It's about basically getting a record contract, this documentary, and the struggles that they have, and the problems with the lead singer, who's the character in many ways of the film. And in the end, the film is more about the Brian Johnson's Massacre. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It's always good to see sort of music documentaries, and that's it. But yeah. So there we are. And then don't have any Columbo on physically, and seen them many times on TV over the years. Yeah. When you were away, we were on about Columbo. So you didn't get any Tony on physical media.
Hang on. So a big section have been talking about Columbo, one of my favourite TV shows. And I get to see 2 lines of it, and you're skipping past it, and we've had 10 minutes of McMahon shit, right? Which I don't give a shit about.
I was on about the box set was expensive in Blu-ray. This wasn't it. It must be when you went away.
Yeah, but it isn't.
I said I just thought.
I think again. I think you'll find that Jim Jam bought it for £7 from Magpie or
the DVDs. Yeah, right? Yeah, he did. It was
I bought them on Blu-ray, but I bought them when they first came out, and it came out in 2 different versions, and one was £80 and the other one was later. Yeah. So yeah, the Blu-ray.
I've just got a single volume on Blu-ray. I think they did the first 7.
Yeah, but I've already said if anybody wants bloody Columbo, I've got all the DVDs. I've got the Blu-rays of them. I don't need the DVDs anymore. Anybody wants them, you can have them. Yeah. Because they'll only go to Kex or Sex or whatever you want to call it at some point. So I think Columbo's great, and I dare say Columbo got mentioned because of Roddy McDowell.
That's right. That popped in. Right? Yes, yeah.
That's because there's one famous story that he's in there, and he's quite wealthy or something. He owns a factory or a plant or something. And he killed, I think, his family so that he became owner of it, if I remember rightly, something like that. Yeah. And then again, Leonard Nimoy's in a couple.
Yeah. Actually, I've just thought that Roddy McDowell, isn't he in the pilot episode or the first episode of Night Gallery?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
I've got
Night Gallery.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got just the first.
It was Denny that sent me the whole lot because he had a cracked case and he bought it on Blu-ray or something.
Yeah.
And I missed out on the Blu-rays. And if you tried to buy the Blu-rays, one of the box sets, I think it's the 2nd season of it. It's so expensive. You can buy the other 2. You can buy the other 2 box sets. Season 1 and season 3.
The middle one is expensive.
You combine the 2 prices of that, and you still wouldn't get to what the 2nd season.
Yeah. Oh,
there you are.
Right. This is Jamie saying, anyway, I'm off to watch a horror film. We'll watch the rest of your stream tomorrow, Ian and Delboy. Thank you,
Now,
Jamie.
before you go on, do not read the next comment.
He says, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No,
I see what you mean.
do not. Oh.
Yeah. This is happening not this Sunday, but the Sunday after. You'll see details go up. Jamie, we're doing on a Sunday a horror thing about. I think we're going to discuss 10 films each, probably. He's got 10 films, I've got 10 films, and we talk about them. But as I say, it's not necessarily my favorite ones. It's the ones, but most of them will be my favorite. The ones that were so-called scary ones. So I must admit, I don't get scared. Yeah, go on.
Alternatively, on another channel, I will be streaming a Jerry Goldsmith stream.
Well, there you are.
I'll be talking about Jerry Goldsmith all night, playing certain excerpts of it at the same time as those two ugly bastards on the other side.
So you know to avoid that Jerry Goldsmith channel, then. Yeah. Yes.
No, I wish you. I wish you well because I wasn't invited.
Well, I think I don't think Sunday's a good day for you, is it? I don't know. I don't know. He must have his reasons for whatever.
Yeah. He doesn't like me. Oh, that's all right. It's okay. It's all right.
He sent you. What was it that he sent you? He sent you something. I don't know.
No, anyway. We'll talk about that another time.
I don't want to spoil your video. Yeah. Right. Right. Here we are. Here's a director I like. Watch the Joseph Losey film. Yeah. King and Country. Brilliant film. Tom Courtney is on trial for desertion, being defended by Dirk Bogarde. Of course, Dirk Bogarde on the Western Front in World War One. Very powerful stuff. It is a brilliant film, that. And Losey is such a great director. What can I say about that? Have you seen King and Country?
I think I have, but I don't. But I think it's a long time back, and I haven't seen it in 40 years.
It's courtroom drama kind of thing as well. Which
it'd be something I like then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I know you like those. Definitely. Then we've got Tony saying good night, Jamie, and then Sai saying bye, Muckman. And then you all saying 5 minutes, guy. More like 10 minutes.
No, it was 5 minutes. I was back.
No, Hammer, Ian. How dare you? They don't scare me, but I prefer the non-graphic horror personally. Well, it's just I was being honest. I had to fit it in. I would love to have put Hammer films in that selection, but he said he wanted scary ones, and I'll be honest, Hammer films don't scare me, but I love them. I love them always.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you how I take that. Right. Even the 1930s Dracula scared me, but that's because I saw it when I was 7.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't. Horror films don't scare me.
No,
they don't scare me. Right?
Well, there's a few exceptions, but not hardly any. No,
there is what they call jump scares, and there is all sorts of different ways of saying scares, right? But when I was a kid, I was very impressionable, and I would still say, therefore, that even a film like Dracula with Bela Lugosi can scare you. But some people will turn around and say to you, "How can you put that in as a scary film?" Well, because I can remember it when I was 7.
Yeah.
Why is it that you have to look at it with a modern brain and say, "Oh, it's not a scary film"? Why can't you put yourself back to the time when your mum said you could stay up one night and watch this horror film?
I didn't then. I was a psychopath, probably. Nothing worried me. I loved them though, because it makes me. When I think of those Hammer films, I think of exactly the same. Being allowed to stay up, so I think of my mum and dad. And my mum used to love them as well. So I associate them with good memories. You know, it's really good memories thinking
because I
about.
tell you now, Christopher Lee scared me as Dracula, but I was 8. I was 8 at the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get that. I get that. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Here was my mum turning around, and I was watching this film, and my mum would say, "I'm just going to go into the kitchen and cut myself a sandwich," right? And then she'd come back, and it would be sausage with tomato sauce, and the tomato sauce would drip down here, and say, "Oh, look, blood's dripping down," and all this. I had to go to bed after watching that film and see him and having my mum say that to me. And I'm going, "You evil woman." And later on in life, she swears she can't remember doing it. I said, "You did do that. You scared us kids."
I could just eat a sausage sandwich now. Lovely. Oh, nice sausages. Lovely. Oh, yeah. Anyhow, question here from Steve Gaming Cat 2.
I dare say that's going to be in my next blog.
Yeah, when is Del doing another gaming chat? The lazy old sod.
Delboy, do you have red sauce or brown sauce with your sausages? Because with bacon, it's got to be brown. But I'm interested to know whether it's tomato or brown sauce that you have with sausages. I bet you that's going to be your next question in the next blog.
Yeah, you've given me an idea, haven't you? Yeah, but you better beware. You've said that now. If I'm scraping bottom of the barrel with questions, then you'll get that. Sometimes I might be. Sometimes I find difficult ones to question. Anyhow, so you're a lazy old sod, apparently.
Oi, less of the old. I don't mind lazy sod, less of the old.
And then we have got.
Actually, hang on. Advertisement time. So Steve and I are doing a collaboration together.
Oh,
just so you know.
Yeah,
he released a video today because we're doing Steve's Gaming 2 versus Delboy's Retro Zone gaming challenge. And I had to name a game for him to play, right? And he then plays that, and he then says a game that I've got to play, right? And I gave him a bastard of a game to play, right? Because that's how we are, right? We want each of us to suffer, right?
Yeah.
So I gave him this game called Wacky Waiters to play, right? If you watch it, he's going, shit died, shit died, shit died, right? And he said, "Thank you very much for watching this, Del. Watch out for the one I'm choosing for you." And it's really like a bully that turns around and says to you, "I'm going to get you, but I ain't going to tell you when it is." So I'm waiting now for the day he's going to turn around and say, "Right, the game I've chosen for you is this," and I've got to play it. And then we've got to go back and forth. Think of these games that are rock hard that we all think that we're going to laugh so much because we're shit at it. So anyway, that's a new gaming collaboration. Just so you know.
There you are. Right. Then we've got Rocket Bunny. Hello, Rocket Bunny. Good evening, gents. Evening chat. Hope I haven't missed much. No, you wouldn't. Not really.
I'm so glad he's here and he keeps coming back because Rocket Bunny is one of those people that I know sort of quite well. We talked quite a bit when he had his own server, but he's such a fan of Doctor Who and a lot of things that we both like, Ian.
Yeah.
And he found this channel, and it's one of those sort of things where he turns around and said, "If it weren't for Dell, I wouldn't have known about Ian. I'm so glad that I sort of like found it."
That's nice. Yeah, thank you.
And I think that's sort of like really nice. You know?
Yeah, it is. That's really nice. It is. It's really good. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. And then we've got Tony said, "Evening Rocket Bunny, eyes, evening Rocket Bunny," and then he says, "A quick random note to Dell. He was absolutely right about the Neutron 4K print. It's glorious. Very impressed with the quality of both picture and sound. Too bad Ian can't appreciate it. Well, it may look fantastic, but oh dear me.
Hang on. That's just your bleeding opinion. And it seems that you are outnumbered on that one.
I know, it's true.
Totally.
I know everybody, every time I look on YouTube, there's somebody reviewing Tron thinking it's the best thing since sliced bread. Great. I'm glad everybody's enjoying it.
I think the argument I think the argument is this, is that I think when it comes to like 2001, I think some people can appreciate your point of view. It's like there's
but not with this.
And all.
But as I said, I think it's the way I wasn't impressed when I first watched the original, going back over the years.
I was just going to say, somebody came back to me and said, you know what, the one line that comes out of your video, because I did a video of Tron, right, is you mentioned that sometimes you've got to go back to your inner child.
Yes.
And you have to, and if you weren't around in that computer sort of like days that was going around when that was out, it must be the hard time, because even I mentioned the bad side of it, which is there's very little story. There isn't.
Exactly. So I'm looking from a film viewpoint.
The character development is very 2D. Are there people for you to root for? Yes, but it's not even the main character of the title of the film, Tron. It's actually Flynn, and he's the person that's the main likable person in it. But the film's called Tron, so it is understandable, and it's why some of them gave reviews of like 5 for innovation, 2 for story, and I can totally relate to it. But if you could go back to seeing that film when you were 8 or something, then basically you were just in awe. It's like watching Star Wars.
For
the first time.
Well, it was like me when I first saw Zulu. But my very first film was Zulu, and I was in awe of it. Absolutely, and still am. And Tony, his favorite film. But it's I think it's when you're a child, you get impressed with certain things, and that Tron, I think,
how much of Tron did you see?
I saw how much? Maybe 10 minutes, maybe.
So I sent you that film, and you saw 10 minutes and switched.
Maybe a bit longer, but I was getting bored with it already and getting fed up with it, and I thought,
so in 10 minutes, you're not even in the grid.
No, I just not got into it at all.
Anyway,
and then what I did, to be fair, I thought, I know this is cheating, and you shouldn't do that. So I just moved it on a bit and see what was going on.
I just wanted to ask a question to see how much you know.
Yeah.
Right? So, how much computer-generated imagery is in that film?
I don't know, because you have bits where you have the reality bits, but most of it seemed to be all computer generated to me.
So would you be surprised if I told you that film has got 22 minutes of computer?
It's all practical. You said it's practical effects. Yeah,
the rest is all standard camera.
Yeah,
lighting effects.
Yeah, even that still doesn't do it for me. I do like practical effects,
and the rest. The rest, by the way, is Disney animation.
Yeah. But I think it's. I don't know. I think it's just the thing, because I just feel it. Maybe it was just me. If I'd have been younger, I probably would have liked it. I think that's it. It's just my generation was different. We weren't brought up with computers at all. Computers didn't come into my life until even at university. Don't forget, I didn't have computers. So there I am at university. studying things through computers, using them. So you can see how things pass by. It just passed by. And then it was only when I started to work in the library, and then we were only just introducing. We swapped over into sort of a network and getting used to using books out with the barcodes. When I first joined, it was the old put in, put out sort of things, cards and all that sort of stuff. So it's a big transformation.
Honestly, you see, you're preaching to something that I totally get. I mean, you come from a life where it was all punch cards. What can I say? You were in awe with the Enigma machine. I mean, But from I must admit, from my sort of like perspective, like the explosion occurred. When I was 8, 9.
And
that was the right age to be introduced to it.
The interesting thing was that it was a massive conversion. Can you imagine Leicester University Library, right? All got made into, put on the computer to be, catalogued. It all had to be catalogued onto the computer. You imagine the work, the catalogue department and everybody else were all the time sticking on these titles. It was a massive, massive job. Absolutely massive. And then you get new stuff coming in. So that has to take precedence in many ways, the new stuff that comes in. But to get all the catalogue, what a task it was. This is what I was seeing in that era. It was a massive.
I'm just going to end, because it's not a rant. I'm just going to end it by just saying, I think now that I've heard what you said, which is, you watched, all told, the first 10 minutes and then you skipped a lot of it. You ought to go back to it maybe the end of next year. I'll give it a year.
And see what
I think you ought to sort of like re-look at it and look at it from this perspective. I want you to think of it from this perspective. Forget its computers, forget its arcade games, forget all of that sort of stuff. Think of it as a pure new fantasy science fiction show, like Star Wars was the first time we saw it. Think of it as a galaxy far, far away.
I get you. Right? I get you.
Right, because all you've got to do about that is to put your head around it. Forget all the mumbo jumble and the jargon and all of that sort of stuff. The MCP, RAM, Tron, all of this. Right? Just think of it. It's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but you've been shrunk into the computer. Think of it as he's the Doctor and he's been shrunk down to the size he can go inside a Dalek. Right? That is what we're talking about. That is Flynn inside the computer. And it's the battles that go on. So in other words, all those things about that you know about in regards to you've got a hard drive and you've got memory and all of this sort of stuff. That's what those characters are. They're called RAM. They're called HD. They're called, right? That's the hard drive. That's RAM. Tron is a program that somebody's double clicked on and it's running in the background inside the computer. The battles that are going on are arenas like in Gladiator.
You see, I can see exactly now that you're talking about it with passion, but it's that comes from your computer experience.
No, because I'm saying
computers.
Because the next time,
I haven't. Even if I tried to put that behind me, I haven't got that passion for computers in the same.
What I'm trying to be, you're missing the point, Ian. What I'm actually saying is, in a year's time, forget its computers. Think that he's been transported to
another world,
a fifth dimension. Right. Now watch it.
And then I might give it another.
Forget the mumbo jumbo, because I tell you what, I've seen some real shit science fiction, and I've come away going, I actually really like that.
It can happen. And
the one that comes to mind is Buckaroo Banzai at the end.
I think you mentioned that one before. But don't forget, people can change your opinions on films. It does happen. and I can change my opinion on a lot, and it can go other way. You know, sometimes you have a really good memory of a film and say, "Oh, that was a fantastic film." You come
But
back.
I will say one thing. I will say one thing about Tron compared to 2001. It didn't take me 20 years to understand what the end of the film was.
Oh, right. Yeah. I know 2001. Yeah. That's
You know what I
another
mean?
story.
If
Yeah.
you come away and 20 years later you turn around and say, I still don't understand the end of that fucking film. What the hell's
I'm
going on?
interested in why. Well, I can understand why. Is nobody seems to have given the latest film of Tron. They don't seem to like it much. It's
No,
not
they
had
don't.
very good reviews.
No, and I can understand that.
Why is that? Why is that? As fans of Tron, that you don't like it?
Because where the original was, the character is digitized and goes inside the world of the computer. It doesn't really work. You come out of the computer and you're suddenly around in our real world because at the end of the day, right?
I get you.
Right? Yeah. So the character is now outside of the computer, inside a body that's in our real world. You already know he's more intelligent than us, he's faster than us, stronger than us, and you're thinking to yourself, right? But when you're inside a computer, you're in an alien environment. You're talking about a human that's now been placed into a totally weird environment, and you're obviously therefore a loss, because how the hell are you going to compete with these that live this world? From his point of view, he's more intelligent. He's just a program. He's outside in our universe. Also, it's cheaper, isn't it? Because all you have to do is put a bloke in a costume and ride and have him riding on a normal bike.
I'm sure they thought of that.
When you go inside the computer, you got to generate that bike. You got to generate everything. Do you see what I mean? So it made perfect sense that people were going to turn around and get quite excited by it. When they saw it, they went, "What? Well, how can I be excited about the other looking at the world from our point of view? Because I live in this point of view. I've never lived inside a computer. I haven't got a clue what it looks like. So your mind is active.
You've seen it then?
I've seen it now. Yeah.
Are you getting the steel book? Is that
I'd have to now. I'd have to now. I've got the other two films, but Legacy works because it's back in a familiar area, which is back inside the computer. But it's also about Flynn, the legacy. It's the legacy of Tron.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ares is more about, I suppose it's philosophical in regards to what Ares is. What was Ares in Greek mythology? What was it? Anyway, all I'm saying is that it's outside of the Tron.
Yeah.
So I take it that Ares is more about beginnings, new beginnings. I don't know. I would take it they got the word Aries from somewhere.
Yes, yeah. I'm sure somebody could help us maybe on that. Yeah.
But all I'm saying is that I was disappointed with Aries.
Really?
And that commode bloke, he hated it. He turned around and said, it's the worst thing he's seen ever.
Well, that's a statement.
He went that far. He turned around and said, I was so bored, I was thinking of quips in regards to titles that I could alternatively call this piece of shit that I'm watching, right? And he was playing that as a game for himself while he was watching it.
So he must have been way out of it.
Well disenchanted from that film.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say I went that far, but
but you can get why people are not so keen on it. No.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think. There's some of our friends that are in here. We got Through the Lens. He's seen it and reviewed it. There's, I always say that there's something in a film that's good, right? I don't care what it is. It could be everybody could turn around and say, what is there to like about this, right? And there isn't one film that I can actually turn around and say there isn't a good thing about it. Even if I mention my worst film, which is Exorcist 2, I can at least turn around and say, well, I tell you what, the font for the end titles is all right.
Yeah. And
You know,
Richard Burton's in it.
they use, you know, they use Times New Roman quite well in that, you know, for the title at the end, right?
Yeah.
And that's a positive, right? It's a small positive,
Yeah,
but at
it's
least I
something.
could turn around and say something like that. I will say, you know, that the titles didn't wobble when they went up the screen, you know, or what, something, right? But, you know, there are some terrible stinking films out there.
Yeah, I know.
You know, but I always tend to find, you know, there's something that I could actually raise a positive on.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you don't put that sort of money into something and not come away with something.
Oh.
You know, some people might turn around and say, but did you listen to the sound effects in the film? Don't you think that the sound effects design in that film was brilliant? And I'd turn around and say, do you know what? I'll have to watch it again now and put it through my Atmos system and see whether it is. And then I'll probably turn around and go, yeah, do you know what? That was a positive, actually. You know, those shots that were firing around the top of my head, they actually did feel like there was some sort of bullets flying above my head. You know,
I get that.
It's like that with me, and that's what I do with 2001. It's what I do with Tron. It's what I do with everything.
Well, I must admit, mind you, I sound like I'm creeping, but I'm not creeping. It's that through you, I probably do listen more now to my sound effects in films. Sometimes I don't think I listened enough, you know, and you can certainly pick up a lot more sound. The sound is important, isn't it?
Well, when you thank me, you're thanking my dad. So I thank you for that, because that's how I got into it.
Yeah. Whereas before, perhaps I didn't. It's interesting that you could watch a film and you'll suddenly notice that there isn't any music if it went on for a long time. Because a lot of film, there's music all the time, isn't there? There's some sort of soundtrack of music and music. Yep. So I think sometimes when you listen and you don't hear any music, you think, "Oh, that's interesting."
Music can be very important. Take it like this: do you guys out there do this, right? The next time that Torval and Dean, right, are on TV because basically it's the anniversary of them winning a gold medal or whatever it is, right? Go and watch them do their award-winning gold medal routine. Turn the bloody music off.
Yeah.
Right? Does that work?
No.
Yeah. Right? So music is very important.
Yes, yeah.
And certain composers, and I have to say it's really the old brigade that I think recognize it. It recognize when to shut up and when not to shut up.
Yes.
You want me to put it bluntly?
I often hear people complaining. They'll say, "Oh, one of the complaints, I don't know whether it's true." They'll say, "Well, the music was too loud. I couldn't hear the dialogue." Have you ever heard people say like that?
Yeah.
Hear people saying that. So
yeah, it's very loud.
Yeah, and also I don't watch much live TV, and therefore I don't watch many series. But if I have watched one. So, and there's a certain style of music going on all the time. There is a sort of modern kind of thing that certainly is used a lot, like crescendo kind of music. It goes up and then down and up. And it's on. Sometimes it's quite irritating because it's on all the time. It's like telling you, "Oh, this bit is dramatic, therefore we have this dramatic music." And it's pointing things out rather too much. The music should be a part of it, but it shouldn't. You know, it should enhance it. I was reading this thing, and I think it's so true, and it made me think a lot. It was on about Hitchcock. He didn't want any music in the shower scene in Psycho.
Yeah.
He didn't want it, and of course, we know that immediately that music was composed. And well, the rest is history. And he admitted he was wrong. He was saying, "How wrong was I?" You know,
it
needed it.
It's actually the start of it's the start of the fallout between Bernard Herrmann and Alfred Hitchcock. Psycho is, because he had to fight for that.
Yeah, and he had to admit that he was right, wasn't he? But
Oh
you
yeah.
needed that. Yeah.
And Hitchcock
Yeah.
did not like to be proved wrong.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that now.
Yeah.
If you've ever watched
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins play Hitchcock in that film, or if you've ever read an autobiography
Yeah.
about Hitchcock,
I
he
have read
did.
something.
Even
Yeah.
only his wife could tell him that he was wrong.
Yes.
And she didn't get very far.
Oh
Sometimes.
no.
So
But
yeah.
yeah. Anyhow, right. Let's see. Si says, Del, have you seen that there's a film coming out called Giant? It's a film about Prince Nazim Hammer.
Oh right.
It was Pierce Brosnan as Brendan Ingle, the famous trainer who discovered Nazim. It's out soon.
I'll be interested in that. I was never a big fan of Prince Nazim Hammer. He's a boxer, by the way.
Yeah, I do vaguely know that. Yeah,
but you know, I'd watch that because I mean, I must admit, my dad, we used to watch the early fights, right?
Yeah.
And we bonded over some of that. But then Sky got greedy and put everything on box office, and you had to pay $24.95 for that one night to watch that. It's almost like you might as well have got a flight out and seen the bloody fight in Las Vegas for the prices that they were charging. And my dad wouldn't do that, so we listened to it on the radio, because that's cheap. And in our heads, my dad, you know, and I were listening again. I can almost see it, Dad, you know, like this. So it'd be interesting to watch that because it's one of those interesting times where I could only watch those fights on reruns a year later or whatever it was. YouTube wasn't around.
No.
You know, it was the dawn, you know, before YouTube.
It's interesting here. Tony must know a bit about boxing, which I don't. And I know the program. He says, I remember seeing Brendan Ingle being interviewed regularly on Calendar. Yeah, Calendar. It always was a big thing. Local news on ITV for Yorkshire region. Think he was from Sheffield. Oh, there you are. Sheffield. Wow. And then Si says, yeah, he was originally from Ireland, but relocated to Sheffield. There were a lot of top boxers from Yorkshire in the 1990s because of him. So he's seen as an influential boxer then.
Everybody seems to mention the Irish boxers and all of this sort of stuff. There was a lot from Yorkshire there. I mean, I this is where I always think when people think of up north, they think, yeah, you're hard up north. Because it's always cold, it's always raining. You must be made of grit or something, right? It's almost like, well, if I touch your skin, is it like concrete or something? I mean, I've got this impression that in Yorkshire, everything is just so bloody hard, and the life is hard, you know, and all this sort of stuff. But you know, boxers come from everywhere. But you know, I do recognize the talent that came out. You know, I must admit, when I was in Manchester, it seemed everybody mentioned Sheffield seems to be the borderline of where the south is and where the north is. It always seems that if you're going up the M6, right, you get to Sheffield. Anything above Sheffield, you're now in the north, right? Anything below, you know, getting back towards Birmingham, well, that's the south, really, right?
Yeah, Rotherham as well. I think Rotherham and Sheffield.
And I think it's probably, and I always put it down to the fact that, Sheffield is steel, isn't it? Steel's hard.
That's right, Steel City.
So Sheffield steel, right? Yeah. So that's why you think everything below there is soft because there's nothing to do with steel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I always recognized I was near Birmingham when I saw the Hoover building. You went down and past the M6. On the left-hand side, there was this old derelict building, and it was the old Hoover building, right? It's almost when you get to Spaghetti Junction, I think. And I just I knew I was nearly home when I saw that building.
Well, you see, I was thinking the county below, Northampton, it's all famous for making shoes, which is not, you know, it's not Reap Manly, is it?
What, shoes? Have you ever been kicked in the Have you ever been kicked in the ghoulies by a toe tector? I tell you what, shoes are hard.
They're pretty.
Shoes are hard.
But making shoes, I suppose, they don't see it in the same way as big steel and all the fire and the sweat and everything. But there we are. Let's see. Back to the Future is a massive cash grab. Yeah, I think we agree with that.
I knew it was a bit of a shitty question, but I'm pretty sure people are
this is
recognizing it's
interesting.
a
I know Tony's likes this film. It says, talking of new editions, I see Seven re-releasing The Wild Geese on DVD, Blu-ray for the first time on 4K. £65 for the collector's box set with a 300-page making of book. Think I'll stick with my Arrow Blu-ray as much as I enjoy the film. I know it is a great film, Roger Moore, isn't it? And
yeah,
I was going to say Burton in that one. I don't know.
Isn't Roger Moore in? Is it a film called Water? Well, no, it's Gold, isn't it?
Gold. Yeah, Gold is.
And he's an explosive chief, isn't it? And it's all about the water that's in the mine, isn't it? Trying to do. I remember that.
I mean, what do you think? 65 quid. They're going up, aren't they? Quite a bit now. The prices.
Well, the thing about it is that the first thing that comes to mind in regards to that, because he did say it's Severin, by the way, Severin, is can they do an edition without the book?
If they did, that would be much cheaper, wouldn't it? Well, it should be.
I do understand that I'm a film of I mean I love it. I love all the books and the posters and all this sort of stuff, and I get carried away with it. But if it was a film that I'm not really got much of a that I really like, I like the film, but I'm not into the history of how that came in.
Yeah.
I would be saying, well, is there a standard release of it?
Yeah.
Because there was a chap on YouTube actually the other day that did turn around and said the one thing that I will commend Universal Pictures in is they will always do every medium possible. There'll be a cheap one. There'll be a DVD edition. There'll be a Blu-ray standard edition. There'll be a steel book in 4K. There will be a collector's set version with a book and the posters and all of this sort of stuff. They will cover every base with it.
That's good.
And really, it's for the majority of every film they ever come out with.
Yeah.
If you go to Disney, you have to buy the steel book because there's nothing ever else coming out other than a steel book for it. So you're stuffed.
Yeah.
Right. But I think Disney is slowly listening because Tron, just going back to that, came out as a steel book, but there is a standard edition of it a month later. But just as he said in my blog, I think actually it was Rocket Bunny. It could be Rocket Bunny anyway. He turned around and said, "I think it's bloody awful though that they make people have to wait a month after the Steelbook releases to get the edition." And it almost seems like clickbait. You have to buy it.
Yeah.
If you weren't aware of the industry that there was two versions coming out, then you'd have thought that the Steelbook was the only one coming out and you'd have bought it.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody that's on YouTube and is a content creator because we informed everybody. Oh yeah, there is a standard one coming out.
Yeah, actually I'd just like to give a plug with Hammer because I think Hammer you get the impression that they're doing all these special editions, which they are. But they're doing a standard version as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're releasing one, which is so there's nothing to complain about there, really, then. So, which is good. Rob Bunny says, with regard to Back to the Future, if they are not a new amazing print, then I shall get the original 3-film collection for £50 when I decide to get them. 50 quid each. For a tin box and a few extra
bits. Yeah.
No thanks. Yeah, I think a lot of people will.
Well, like I said, you can actually right now probably go to Amazon, and you'll probably find that the last Steelbook box set is about 30 quid because they're going to try and want to offload all that.
Yeah,
because they've now got a shit ton of these new ones at $49.99.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And they hadn't even sold the last lot yet.
Yeah.
So
yeah. This is, I knew Tony might mention this. So there are rumors that they will possibly release a 4K of Zulu Dawn before too long. I have their Blu-ray. Maybe tempted if they do, but still no news on Zulu.
Well, yeah, it's amazing. Tony's mentioned Zulu Dawn when I haven't got a 4K of Zulu yet.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't seem to be coming. Nobody's.
And I don't understand why there's no 4K of Zulu. You'd
it
think
must be a reason. I think I'm sure by now it would have come out. I really do. Yeah. I don't. There's no reason, is there?
Well, I wonder who distributed that.
If it was 20th Century Fox,
that'd explain.
I know that is a thing, but is it? I don't know. I can't remember.
I can't remember who distributed Zulu.
Yeah.
Was it Warner Brothers?
I don't know.
Sounds it sounds more like a Warner Brothers film than
anything. And the beginning Disney are releasing some 20th Century Fox films now, aren't
they? Yeah, they are.
Interchange.
Like I said, it wasn't very long before Disney went, right, we got to start getting this stuff out.
Yeah, they have, quite right, yeah.
Anyway, somebody said, I think Zulu's Paramount. If it's Paramount, it should be out because that's Universal.
Yeah. And then Si says, I had the best experience at the cinema yesterday. I went to see The Sting. It's one of your favorite films. I had an amazing day. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that. Yeah, I know you mentioned The Sting.
I tell you, I keep imagining now Si saying, yeah, can I have a box of popcorn? Can I have a bag of sweets? And can I have some ointment, please? Because I've just been stung. Do you get ointment with my bag of popcorn? Thank you very much. I can just see him there doing that. Can I have a plaster? I've just been stung. So many people have got stung watching Tron Ares. How much did I pay to see that film?
Exactly. Tony says, talking of age, I have a 90-year-old couple living on one side of me and a 97-year-old gent who lives alone at the other side. Still drives, gardens, and walks his dog. Amazing guy. Yeah. I won't be that. There's no way I'm making that lot. Not with mine. No way. Alone on his own. Poor English. We never noticed.
I did. You little bastard.
Look at this. Del is now an official influencer. Oh boy! Do you know if there's one term I could go into a rant, but all this influencer, what a label to have! I mean, good God, what is an influencer? It's somebody who thinks that they're up there, Jackson, I think, about their status in life. An influencer. Have you seen that? People give us, I'm an influencer. Thank you. Goodbye. You've influenced me to say goodbye.
This is the one reason why I didn't like to call myself a blogger or a V-blogger, because they used to think that people that did blogs are influencers because they talk about things and they make you go out and buy them because
it's rubbish. It's absolute.
I've never done that. Mine is just an insight into my life a little bit, But
I think sometimes those YouTubers that do this and then get paid for it and perhaps get sponsorship, and therefore they're flogging whatever tat they've got, and then they're named as influencers. I think it's more like influencing mugs to buy the rubbish half the time. Yeah.
I've just received this film from this company, and I just want to mention that I've watched it and I actually thought it was quite good. And
they're not going to tell truth, are they? If it's an absolute crap of a film, seriously, you get sent this film that is crap. You're not going to say, "Oh, this film is crap." It's absolute, because you're thinking, well, they're not going to send any more.
Yeah, I think the hardest word I've heard someone say is, it's not the best thing that they've ever brought out, but I've got some enjoyment out of it, and I can.
It's a good way of doing it. Yeah.
I can certainly see myself if I saw it on a shelf buying it. And I'm going, what? Why don't you just turn around and say it's the biggest pile of shit?
Yeah. You know, the company might be watching. Well, actually, they must watch. They must have a sort of group of people who make sure that when they send out these free complimentary films, that people are saying positive things, because they wouldn't send them. They're not going to send them, are they? If you slag it off, say it's a big pile of whatever. Yeah. No way will you get in it. I mean, I wouldn't. I'll be honest. I mean, if somebody sent me all these films regularly, they're not
exactly going to turn around, are they, and say, "Do you know what? I knew this was shit because it smelled like shit through the envelope that it came through the letterbox with."
Yeah.
Imagine that. They turn around and say, like, I've got to review this product. It's come through from my. It's come through from the sponsor of my channel, and I just wanted to say it was such a stinker. I thought that the drains had gone out outside my house, but I actually opened the envelope of this, put it in, and the DVD player refused to play it because it was. I mean, you ain't going to get a review like that, are you, from people?
Well, any influencers that might be listening to this program, if you've got anything, you know, if you send me Tron Ares or whatever when it comes out on Steelbook, I will give a great review for it. I will love it. I will love it. You can send me Tron and I'll love it.
Yeah, if Amazon are listening, right? Anybody if Amazon wants to send me as many Steelbooks to review as they really want, right?
To review,
I will do a review a day.
Yeah.
I will. I'll do that. You know, you just send me every Steelbook that you've got in your library to my house.
Good review for them. Yeah.
I'll do it.
It won't be a 5-minute review like, I've just received this. Isn't this brilliant? No, we'll do we'll give you a proper review.
Steve's Gaming will recognize this, right?
We will do
it's like every single one of the channels that we watch in our industry, you know, when it comes to electronics and games and that, it's PCB Way. Yes, PCB Way for all your circuit board.
Oh, no, you have all that stuff, do you? Oh, God.
And I'm going, oh my God, if I see one more advert for PCB Way. Right, I used to watch a show called The Gadget Show, right? And I mentioned that I watched The Gadget Show.
Yeah, you do,
podcast, right, on my blog, right? Do you know who their sponsor is now? Kex or Sex, right? Sex. Every 5 minutes of their bloody program, they're going, and now just a little word about our sponsor. Yeah, we're sponsored today by Sex. And you could go in, look, and you could take all your tack, right, that you bought. You know, say you bought a Game Boy, right? And you bought it back in the 80s, you could take it in there and you can get 25 quid. Yeah. And I'm going, that's £175 device, and they're going to give you 25 quid. Yeah, that's definitely Sex.
You can get a penny for a DVD.
Right?
A penny for a DVD. Take a DVD in.
You know what I mean? They are atrocious. Yeah, he said, if you've got some old cack and you want to get yourself some new tech, take it down to Gas. I'm saying I'd rather shit in a cup than take it down to them to get so that they can sell it for 175 quid. Go on eBay. Sell it on eBay. Get off your ass. Right? I'll take it down to them fellas.
But they're coming to sponsor you. Oh, take it there, please. Take it there. You know.
Oh yeah, they're the best for the best for tech. Are they? Are they frig?
Yeah, Exorcist 2 is a masterpiece. Honestly, in this Steelbook, Exorcist 2 is fantastic.
Yeah, send me the Exorcist 2. I'll give it a good review.
Yeah. I'll give you a free review.
I'll mention the end credit font as long as you want me to.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, even the crap stuff you send me,
Yeah.
I'll say it's great. You know,
I thought the size of the font for Richard Burton's name when the titles came up at the beginning were absolutely spot on.
yeah.
They weren't too large, they weren't too small. It was all right.
Give you that. So we'll do anything.
Right,
Well, yes, anybody listening, free, anything free, we're in. Yeah.
honestly,
We'll
we
give
better
you a
move on,
good
aren't
plug.
we? We better move on. Otherwise, we're going to be here till about 12.
Yeah. Ian, I bought a soundtrack. Del, my work here is done. Oh, yeah, I know, because I told him I bought a soundtrack from Cold Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you are. So the work is done. Tron Logger say Daft Punk is one of my favorite more recent film soundtracks.
Yeah.
As much as I like Nine Inch Nails, their music on the new one is nowhere near as good. Oh,
No,
right.
because
Yeah.
I think Daft Punk hit gold because they used a lot of synthesizers in it. It's not too bad. The other thing is, it's the most used sound motif that's used in soundtracks I've ever known in my life.
Yeah.
Right. On that CD, there's an overture, and there's a track on there that's used to advertise ITV dramas and everything. Right. It's from Tron Legacy, and since 2010, it's been used for the last 15 years. It's been used God knows how many times. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those overused sort of like cues.
Yeah.
But it is a great album. It is. I've got Tron Legacy.
Oh well. That is good. I was thinking again, Alien Earth, to criticize that. They had a metal music at the end playing, didn't they? Which I don't think suited it at all. I mean, sometimes I don't mind. In fact, I quite enjoy a good metal track, but it didn't suit it at all. That's another criticism of Alien Earth. The music just didn't suit. Yeah. And then I love the score for One Bottle After One Battle, not Battle.
One bottle after another.
After another.
You drunkard, you.
Yeah,
yeah. I watched one bottle after another.
Yeah, every week.
One.
I hear this film every week, and it just makes you want to watch it. But One Battle After Another, but not the drunk version. Special drunk version. They're going to release that.
Can you imagine that? I can have the special pissed edition, please. Yeah. One bottle after another. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that one. And then Rocky Putty says Blade Runner 2049 has a stunning soundtrack. It's not particularly musical, but it lifts the film and gives so much scale, gravitas, and emotion to many scenes. Oh, yeah, well, that's good.
Now, the one thing, there was a big argument that I saw on YouTube once that turned around and said, if you had a choice to have Blade Runner or Blade Runner 2049 soundtrack, which one would you say is the best? And I had to turn around and say, you know what? I think I would still edge towards the original Blade Runner. And it's amazing how people then suddenly went, oh my God, Blade Runner 2049 scored so much better than Blade Runner. Vangelis is so old. It's so old hat. It's so yesterday.
It's so passe. And oh yes, darling. Oh, sorry.
I'll tell you what, it's what you're used to. You've got to remember that Blade Runner 2049 came out how many years after Blade Runner? We only had the Vangelis score for that many years. And how many times do you think I played that in my car?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're turning around and saying, Blade Runner 2049 score is so much better. I'm just turning around and saying, why can't I like them both?
Yeah.
Why have I got to choose one?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
I'm always on that side of things for me.
Yeah.
Like, why have I got to choose one over the other? What is this horrible bastard that keeps coming along and says, I'm on a desert island again? Well, you bastard.
Oh, no. Who would do that? Who would do things?
Yeah, I don't know. The last time that happened, there was this git
idea.
turned around and said that I'm back on an island again. I thought, you bastard.
You just happen to have 5 that you've got.
This bastard. I take it. I swear he was trying to tell me something like, "I'm going to throw you on this island, right? If you don't, if I had the money, I'd pay for you to be on this island because I don't want you around anymore. You miserable."
I was just thinking, because I've done it, but the 5. But yeah, it's all right choosing 5, but you've got to be able to play it on something. What are you going to play it on? Yeah. I'll watch it on.
Yeah. I do honestly. I do love those questions. Don't get me wrong. I'm only joking, and we all know what we mean by it. It means, look,
but it's still.
Everything in the universe has exploded, and you've only got 5 that you can choose to go with you. Right? It's different than saying I'm on a desert island.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's going to turn around and say, "Where are you going to get the batteries from? Where are you going to get the plug from? Where are you going to get? Where are you going to plug that in from? How are you going to watch it when the sun's shining so brightly? How are you going to watch a film on the telly or something, right?" It's all it is it just comes from desert island discs. All right, fellas, that's where it comes from. And all it's supposed to mean is you only can choose 5. Now choose it. And somebody came up with a scenario. That's all it is.
Yeah. Actually, I sometimes have this scenario in my mind. I'm sat here, right, and I'm thinking, right, there's a fire breaking out. I've only got 1 minute to grab as much physical media that I love and CDs. Which do I choose of what's in front of me? And I'm thinking, in the end, you haven't got time to really think. You just put whatever's nearest. You're gonna it's like I'm looking at all my Doctor Who special collection ones, and I'm thinking, well, they'd go straight in. I want to keep them. And then I'm thinking, well, I love all my Doctor Who DVDs. So in the end, it'd probably end up just being all Doctor Who. I wouldn't have time. I've only got a minute.
Well, if we've got time at the end of the stream, and I don't know whether we will because it's getting quite late. I'd like to know what your opinion is of all these videos that keep cropping up now saying what's happening about the lost episodes of bloody Doctor Who. I tell you what, I'm pissed off with it now. Every time I click on one, I keep thinking that somebody's heard something about Once Upon a Time. When I click on it, it's the same bloody story that I heard a week ago.
Do you know, you're right. I've fallen into that trap because I look at when the video is put up and I think, oh, it's new news.
Latest news on the missing episodes. And I'm going,
then it's the same news.
You're just a week late, mate. With that thing. It's the same thing that I knew a week ago.
And I know exactly what episode you're going to say that we're hoping for. I know it all. Please, we know it. If you're a Doctor Who fan, you know exactly the episodes they're going to mention. Anyhow, I better get going. And then we've got Sandra saying, "Hi everyone, hope you're all good." Hello, Sandra. Yeah, we're doing fine. Thank you.
I haven't heard or seen from Sandra for a long time. It's nice to have you back, Sandra. That's brilliant.
And then Tony says, "Hi, Sandra." And then Sandra says, "Delboy, I still don't have my Switch 2 back.
No.
So I was watching your videos on Astrometica. Is that right? So I bought a key of it and I'm playing that. Did you ever complete it 100%?
No. And I'll tell you why. It got to a point where I knew that I wasn't far away from completing it because it was an early access game. And I've been told by Rocket Bunny, actually, just recently, I ought to go back because they've now added a lot more content. In fact, if I do go back to it, I can't use my old save. I'd have to start from the beginning. And because they've added so much content, it wouldn't take me very long to get to the same point that I was at. And then I'd only be sort of like a third into the game. So I'm really tempted, actually, to go back to that. So, yeah. But I think I'd rather go back to Planet Crafter than Astrometica. Sandra, just so you know, Planet Crafter was a game that I really fell in love with. Planet Crafter was brilliant. That was so marvelous. But I'm a sucker for mining games. I love mining. And you're stuck in an asteroid, you're blasting all the bits, and you're getting water out of them, and you're getting cobalt from them, and then you build things with them. And I get sucked into all that universe. Brilliant. So I'm glad that you found something in my back catalogue that you liked, and I really enjoyed making those videos. And I had one bloke turn around and said, I hope you don't stop making these because I can fall asleep watching them. And I took that as a compliment. All right. I don't mind that.
Right. Sandra says next, Tron is one of the best films I've ever seen. Well, fantastic. You enjoyed that. And then I can watch it over and over like Jaws. Never get tired of it. Fantastic. That's great. If a film does that, now this one's interesting. I've seen this one. Forgive my sci-fi bias. I've just noticed Outland as a limited edition 4K release next month. It's another of my favorite films of the 80s. When I got my 4K TV, it was sad there was no 4K version. I love Outland. It's one of those films.
I think I've ordered that, but I can't remember what label it was that it was coming out on.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Is it Arrow?
Was it Arrow? I think it was Arrow.
Yeah. I just have to.
I think I mentioned it actually in one of our streams, because I think the thing I said was it'll be sad because I've got the HMV sort of like Premier Collection, which is where I got my Outland from. And
yes,
I love that. Yeah. I love that silver.
Yeah, I've got that
band that's around it. And every time somebody brings out a film that is coming out on 4K and it's another label, I'm going, I'm whittling down that Premier Collection bit by bit, because it won't be very long before Time After Time and Excalibur and all of those films are going to be coming out on
they will,
labels. And slowly, it won't be long before the Time Machine gets a 75th anniversary.
I hope so. I hope it's next year, about August next year, that comes out, because I can start spending some money. Fantastic.
Tell me something. Have you watched the really, really long version of the original Dune, the one that came out on TV that had an extended like 50 minutes?
Yes, I have. I've got a DVD of it. There's a DVD, isn't there, with extended cut on. The ones that Lynch didn't want putting in.
Yeah, he took his name off of it.
He got cut out. But
he took it. He said, "Take my name off of it." Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. I've got a DVD of that. Yeah. It probably
I just wondered
a Blu-ray release with extended stuff on. I don't think it has. No. Yeah. So
but it took you see, the thing is, Superman, right? The theatrical cut is like 2 hours 5, right? And then they did a director's edition that was 2 hours 30. But the American TV station did a really, really long version that was 3 hours 5 minutes. Superman, 3 hours 5. That's an extra 55 minutes of footage.
That's a hell of a lot.
Right? And that only came out on Blu-ray, I'm pretty sure, about 8 years ago. They haven't done a 4K of that.
No.
But there's a documentary about it where they turned around and said it's really weird because full well that it was never going to be intentionally in the theatrical version, because if you ever watch the beginning of the film where Christopher Reeve is not Superman yet, they got a young actor to play young Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Christopher Reeve later on dubbed over the top of that young man's voice. So you hear Christopher Reeve, right?
Yeah.
But because they've added so many scenes in, it keeps switching between Christopher Reeve and this young boy's actors and their pitches at different levels. And you can instantly see that wasn't in the film, because that's the original actor's voice. Not Christopher Reeve's voice. So he's not speaking the dialogue that's in the version. And that's what I like about things when people put out raw
Yes, yeah,
extended
I agree.
edition, because they
Yeah,
you can't crack you can't iron over the cracks.
yeah, yeah.
That's good. Anyway, look, we got to get going. Jesus,
We
look,
have.
it's 5 minutes past.
Rocket Boy says, "Did you know about this? I pre-ordered it as soon as I found out. Looking forward to that arriving." That's the
Outland, yeah.
Outland, yeah. Steve's Game Part 2, watching 10 minutes of Tron and skipping bits. That should be against the law. Tron is amazing. And Sandra Clark is right. One of the best films ever. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it.
No, we all mean it in a right way,
yeah.
you know.
No, it's true. I don't. I think it's good. It's all right that we enjoy as films, and I think that's great. We get whatever we get from films, and that's how it should be. And then we've got Mer from Philippines. Hello. Oh, everyone. She says, hello. Hope you're all right, doing well, and keep safe there. I know you've had a lot of bad weather and earthquake problems. But please keep safe. I always say that. Yeah. And then Tony says, hello, Mer. Yes, Steve's Gaming. It's so good. Yeah. Ian, what are your top 5 sci-fi films? Ooh.
See, it's so late at night, it's going to take you forever to come out.
I would say Star Trek: The Motion Picture. I would say
Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes. Yeah, I would say that. I would say
Tron 2001.
No, I wouldn't say that. Let's see. You've really asked me. There's so many I like. I'll say Back to the Future, the original. Back to the Future, the first one. 2 more. I would say. Sci-fi horror, but I call it sci-fi. Alien is just unbelievable. And I know I'll throw one in that I really like, and I get to like it more and watch it. Event Horizon.
Oh,
I know it's a messy one.
You would put Event Horizon over The Thing then?
Well, I like The Thing a lot, but I never include it always in my top ones. You know, definitely. I
like Event Horizon.
Yeah,
I've got the anniversary edition, the big.
The sad thing about Event Horizon is there's a lot that they filmed and they can't find it anymore. It's gone.
Yeah,
and I'd love to have seen what else. Anyhow, that's a story in itself. But Event Horizon, I've always something about that film really attracted to me. I just love it. Love Event Horizon. Then we've got, so I hopefully that's answered. I've given 5. There's more I could think of, probably a lot more, but they're just immediate ones. Rob, with regard to Tron Ares, it's been a big flop in the box office. 33 million US opening weekend. I'll be honest, I've been turned off by the bland modern cast in the trailer. That's interesting. The cast. Yeah. I'll probably catch it on Amazon when it turns up next month.
I think a lot of people are looking at it that way. They're going, I've heard some bad things about it. I tell you what, it'll take a month and it'll be on Amazon.
Yeah. Actually,
things get turned around so quick for streaming.
Isn't Gillian Anderson in this?
Yeah, she is.
You see that? I'm thinking, I like Gillian Anderson. She's a great actress. So that kind of would make me maybe even watch it. So I'd like to see it.
It was Commode that actually turned around and said even Gillian Anderson couldn't save this.
Really?
And she had one of the best scenes in it where she slaps someone in the face.
Really? Yeah.
And I think he turned around and said, I wish it had hit him harder.
Yeah. Really? I like that. Oh, that's good. That's a good bit of humour. Then Tony says, Richard Burton, Roger Moore, Richard Harris, Hardy Kruger, Wild Geese, 4K without book and box is about £25. Well, that's what you'd expect, probably a 4K of it. It is a good film. It's a great cast there.
I just like to have alternate versions that you can get, you know.
I watched that on Amazon a month or so ago. Great film. I think that's Wild Geese. And then thumbs up, Tony says. I always cry at the end of Wild Geese. Oh, well, yeah. Tony says, I think Zulu is paramount. So there's no excuses. It should be out.
Yeah.
I was a real 1970s bloke. I manned up and complained to the empty walls of my house that I had something in my eye. Damn it. And then influencer equals cancer on society. Yeah, you're right. Yes. Definitely. I don't like that term.
Here's my honest review from my sponsor.
Yeah. Honest, mate. Yeah, honest.
I think there's a conflict of interest. Yeah. In those two statements.
I like this. It's such a stinker. I thought the drains had gone in our
house. Yeah.
That description made me laugh, Steve. Yeah.
Here's my diaper review. Right.
Local. We have this PCB way. Yes, I'm sick of that shit.
Honestly, they all do the same thing. They say the same words. It's just different people. Here's my sponsor today. It's PCB way. And they're there for all your circuit board needs.
No.
And they can go there and you can find that any little project. And they all say the same damn lines. It's like they're reading from a script. They don't even say it differently. It's the same text read out from different people. And you just go, I wonder how this guy's going to emphasize the word way. That's the only interesting thing. I bet he says way differently.
Yeah, but it does,
than the person I saw 2 minutes ago saying it.
Yeah. Rocket Buddy says Sky F1 News, one of the TL themes in their build up to each
Tron Legacy.
Race. Sorry?
Tron Legacy.
Tron Legacy. Sorry. Yeah. Have you noticed, Del?
Yes, I have.
You're the F1 fan.
Yeah.
And then Rocket Bunny, I'm right with you, Del. Vangelis' full soundtrack for the original film is second to none. It created a soundtrack genre, in my view. The 2049 one is more of an ensemble with the rest of the film.
Yeah. It fits well into the film, and you got to remember it's that many years in the future that filmmaking has changed.
Yeah.
The emphasis on soundtracks, I think, in modern films is different to how it was 20 years ago, and probably even 10 years ago. I think that they look at it different, they cue it differently, they have a different emphasis on where they need to place it, and maybe that's the right thing, because for people that listen to soundtracks from the 50s all the way into the 90s, it was almost like the soundtrack was important and it was cued in the same way, and filmmaking sort of like was in a structure, and it was in a structure that it was hard to come out of. So maybe it was a good idea that happened, but from my point of view, I just listened to the old ones.
It's part of Denis Villeneuve's vision of the world as it sounds, part music and part soundscape. Yeah. Interesting. New Bond director there when it comes out.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite celebrity panel shows? Oh, crikey. Just asking as I call my bluff on being.
That's an old one.
Is that one of the old ones? It is, isn't it? Frank.
Yeah. I mean, on Rewind, they showed Joker's Wild. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, I do. I love to watch. In fact, I watched on YouTube an episode of Joker's Wild. Yeah.
You know, I mean, you got Barry Cryer, and you got all these names like
it's really good.
Lenny Bennett. You're going, who the hell? Jesus Christ! I haven't heard of Lenny Bennett in how many years?
So, what are your favorite celebrity panel shows?
I don't know, because so many, isn't there? Because there was, I mean, there was all the music ones, wasn't there? Like, what's that one that you used to watch? Never Mind the Buzzcocks. No. Back in the 60s when they
60s.
Had when it was going to be a hit or miss and all of that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah, I know which one you mean. It looks really old-fashioned. What's it called? Oh, somebody. I know the one you mean. I know they used to hit or miss, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot what's it called.
Was it Jukebox Jury?
That's right. Spot on. Well done. It looks so funny now when you watch any archive things of Jukebox Jury. Yeah. Celebrity panel shows. I could say
when I was a kid. I'll tell you what. When I was a kid, and we had children's TV. We used to watch things like Clapperboard or Screen Test.
Oh, they had kids, didn't they?
Talking about films and stuff. I thought that was brilliant.
But celebrity ones.
Well, they did a Celebrity Krypton Factor once.
Did they?
Or as I used to call it, Crapton Victor.
They do Celebrity Mastermind, don't they? But that's not. I don't know if you count that one.
Yeah, Shooting Stars. Someone said. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes. Actually, that's a good one. Could have Shooting Stars.
Bloody good one.
Yeah.
What about University Challenge?
Yes. Bamba Gascoigne. But it's somebody else is doing it now, isn't it? The bloke.
Yeah. I used to like Bamba Gascoigne because he had hair like springs.
Yeah.
When he was young.
Actually, I remember when I was at university, they came to film an episode. Well, not filmed it. They sent a team there, and we got to watch it. I think before or whatever. I remember a screening of it.
Of course, some of the best celebrity panel shows were actually on Radio 4.
Yes, yeah, there were. That
you have Tim Brooke Taylor doing a celebrity panel thing, didn't he?
Yeah, they had some really good ones, didn't they? On radio, I used to listen years ago though on those. Yeah.
And if I remember rightly, Nicholas Parsons had one that was long running for about 30 years or something, wasn't he, on radio? Where
yes, you're right, Nicholas Parsons. I forgot what it's called, but you're right. They didn't have to do different situations.
Yeah,
they put in, like I don't know.
But yeah, because I wouldn't call Whose Line Is It Anyway a panel show. They sit on chairs and they ask them to reenact things.
Yeah.
It's not really a panel show.
Yeah.
Because the panel show is more about people that sit behind a desk.
That's right.
And there's a so you can have things like that's a sport one, isn't there? That went on for years.
Question of Sport.
Question of Sport.
Question of Sport. That's it. You could have that one, yeah.
Because that's a panel show.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a modern one, but I don't. I've seen it, but not really watch it. Is it Would I Lie to You or something? Where somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's three of them, but I'm not really seen much of that. It's something that just passed through.
Anyway, we must move on, haven't we? Christ, look, it's 23 minutes past 11.
I've finished all the content in Astromatica so far. It's a great game. I wish it had co-op.
To be honest, yeah.
Yeah.
He's the one. It was Rocket Bunny that's told me to go back to it, and I think I will, because I mean, at the end of the day, I bought it and the content is free.
Celebrity Squares Blankety Blank, we mentioned then. In regards to Event Horizon and the missing footage, they know where it is, but it was stored poorly and has deteriorated over time and can't be used. Very sad. Very sad that. I always remember walking out of the city after watching Event Horizon in the 90s with my housemates in the car. We didn't utter a word. I think it really freaked us out. Well,
yeah,
there you are.
it was a weird film because even the spaceship and the insides of it with that weird global or like ball thing with all the sort of like,
I loved it.
It was such a great design.
Yeah, wow, it was, yeah.
And I think I laughed out loud. I think at the beginning because I think the spaceship that took him out there was called the Lois and Clark, and I was going, "That's Superman." That's Superman, Lois and Clark. Wasn't they called a spaceship Lois and Clark? They call them Enterprise now and Challenger. Was this Lois and Clark thing? I just thought it was funny.
Now this is an interesting set of top 5 sci films: Dark Star, Tron, Silent Running, Westworld, The Andromeda Strain. I mean, there's loads. You could carry on and on.
Wow. I mean, honestly, Silent Running, classic, isn't it? Andromeda Strain.
I love Westworld.
I've told you a million times about Andromeda Strain and
where that's good. I mean, what can you say? There's so many. That's why it's difficult to do. If I asked you, even if I said, "Oh, give me 10 top 10," you still might find it difficult. There's so many.
I'm glad nobody asked the question because we'd be here all night because I've always turned around and said, "I can't."
Yeah,
it's impossible.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing I can say is if it was my top 10, you won't find THX one.
The Lucas, George Lucas one.
George Lucas's first sci-fi effort is not in my top 10.
It's a more student filmmaker.
Shock surprise that film is not there.
Yeah. Si says my favorite Tony Hawk, that one which is about Jaws Doors, aka Matt Lucas.
What's the scores on the Doors, George
Doors? Yeah. Here we are, top 5 sci-fi films. Not enough. Original Star Wars trilogy.
Cheating.
1, 2, 3. Terminator 5. Outland. Honorable mention. To Back to the Future. Superman 1 and 2. Escape from Films. And They Live. Crikey. There's quite a lot there, lad.
Bloody hell, yeah. Let me choose. Right, what's my favourite horror? Nightmare on Elm Street 1 to 7. Halloween 1 to shit. I mean, Christ, you've got to choose one of them out of that. You put the whole bloody lot in. All the Terminators grouped together. I really like that Rocket Bunny. That's made me smile.
It was,
yeah. All 10 Star Trek films.
Even number 5.
Yeah, even number 5 did it. Yeah. I need my pain. What do you mean you can't take my pain away? What does God need with a starship? Yeah, carry on.
Right. This is it. This is the one that I remember. Yeah. Tony Hawk, Nicholas Parson, Just a Minute. And you had to repeat the same word, haven't you, again? You had to be careful. If you're repeating it, that was it.
You had to talk for a minute without using the same word twice in that minute.
That's right. Yeah. And it's very difficult when you're under pressure and have no idea what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, because you had to talk there. No, because you had to talk about a subject without mentioning the word, and you actually had a minute.
I remember Kenneth Williams was brilliant at it.
But his speech pattern, because you're not supposed to pause.
Oh, he was stretching it out for going it was funny though.
No wonder he was good at it. Jesus, to get 3 words out of him in a minute.
He was great. He was so funny though. He was still funny, wasn't he? Oh, yeah, absolutely gold that was. Do you remember the Bambi 2 episode of The Young Ones where they went on University Challenge and Griff Rhys-Jones played Bambi Gascoigne? Yes, I do. That was brilliant. Yeah.
And it's the one where his head got cut off when he's on the train going to the University Challenge. Wasn't he? Stuck his head out the window and bang, his head was kicking it down the train track.
That's it. Yeah.
He said, I wonder why I'm not supposed to stick my head out this window.
Oh, let me just yeah. Great, absolutely wonderful. Yeah, I forgot the young ones and University Challenge. It's one of the best. It's absolutely fantastic. That, yeah. If you had to do a strict top 5, they'd just be Star Wars. Wow, you're a big Star Wars fan.
Yeah, that's good.
Wow. 99 Gang, and a massive thank you to Ian and Delboy for tonight's entertainment. A special hello to Mrs. Del. Thank you, Si, as always.
This is why my mum's got a soft spot for Si Robson.
Yeah.
Because he always says hello to Mrs. Del.
He does. Fantastic. And then we've got Rock Bunny saying, good night, Si, all the best. And then we've got Tony saying good night all and thanks. Well, thank you, Tony. Has always been here.
Yeah, up yours, Tony, you bastard. Oh, sorry.
Thank you anyhow for looking after things as you do.
No, you're a little shit, Tony. That's all I'm gonna say.
Good night, Tony. Have a good one. Thank you, Rocket Bunny, and thank you everyone. Thank you everyone that's watching. Thank you, Delboy, for being fantastic. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, yeah, right.
We really love the comments, and there's some funny things that you've made us laugh about tonight. The funniest thing I'm getting is the influencer question and what we went into. I thought it was so brilliant. I really enjoyed.
I don't know where I'd be on a Wednesday if it weren't here. I tell you.
We had such a good laugh. We do. We genuinely always talk about this. So we have such a laugh. Then we got Rowan. Cheers, lads. Thank you for a good laugh and a chat. That's what we want. That's what I want people to have a good laugh. Good night, all. I enjoy Wizard Dora Dale. Laugh out loud. I'll tell you something. That's why ours is the best chat, because we don't take things always too seriously. You know, some of these chats are far too serious. You know, so we
okay. I rant a bit too much,
but we do get serious.
I do need to tone it down a little.
Yeah, but we enjoy a good rant. It's part of the thing.
But I tell you what, a bloody hell, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stay the same as long as I'm here, because it makes Ian laugh, and that's the only reason I do
that's
it.
What you've got to laugh. You've got to, and everybody else does that. We can be serious, informative as well, but we can still, because I often say, wow, I never thought of that film, and I never thought, and it's brilliant. We enjoy that, but we also enjoy having a laugh. So we're a good combination of everything on here, and everyone's still here. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up this video. Oh, absolutely.
Brilliant. Okay,
I'm going to do that right now. There you go. I've just thumbed it up.
Thank you very much, everybody. As I normally do, big thank you to Delboy, and say your farewells as always.
Oh, right. And it's goodbye from me.
And it's good night from him.
Good night. They always do that. I love the two runners. I have to do that. But my one is salute, because Frankie Howard and Pompeii. What can I say? Brilliant.
Fantastic. And all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.
And a reek grand time.
Have a reek grand time.